Chapter 421 Development of the Rockmen Tribe. He Feng Yang carefully read the detailed content of the lightning letter. Fang Yuan only made 3 types of requests: primeval stones, GU worms and materials. Requesting for 5 million primeval stones. No problem, let alone 5 million, it is no issue even if he wanted 10 million or 50 million. He Feng Yang grinned. When one reached the GU Immortal realm, their attention was on immortal essence. They could have any amount of primeval stones they wanted, it was simply not a thing of concern. 5 Spring Egg GU. He Feng Yang was slightly dazed. Spring Egg GU was a rank 5 GU that had the appearance of a white goose egg. It was obtained from killing specific eggmen. Placing Spring Egg GU deep underground could form a spirit spring eye. That means, it could grow a spirit spring. Every Spring Egg GU represented a small-scale spirit spring. Every small-scale spirit spring could produce at least 100 million primeval stones from the moment they formed till they disappeared. However, Spring Egg GU's price was much higher than 100 million primeval stones. GU Immortals would frequently buy it and plant it in their blessed land to form spirit springs and provide spiritual essence to all living beings. Sufficient spirit springs meant the primeval energy in the blessed land would be thicker and be beneficial to the cultivation and nurturing of GU worms. Conversely, if there were no spirit springs, the primeval energy in the blessed land would be created by diluting the immortal essence. From a certain aspect, spirit springs could cut down the use of immortal essence. To think this Fang Yuan, a mere mortal, also knows the importance of Spring Egg GU. But this GU, even GU Immortals have a lot of demand for it, how could we give you 5 of them? 3 is enough, the Hu Immortal blessed land you are managing will sooner or later become our Immortal Crane sect's property. He Feng Yang's gaze moved over the list. Below, Fang Yuan had mentioned many GU worms. What does he want so many low-rank GU worms for? He Feng Yang felt some doubts. If Fang Yuan demanded those rare and powerful rank 5 GU worms, it would be understandable. However, what he was requesting for were some rank 2 and rank 3 GU worms. Although he mentioned some rank 4 GU, it was just a few. HMPH, I understand. This kid has strong vigilance. He is afraid that if he directly asks for rank 5 GU, we would tamper with it, and so he intends to refine the GU himself. GU refinement process involves many subtle details. If the GU worms had been tampered with, it would definitely destroy the whole refinement process. Conversely, a successfully refined GU would be completely clean and secure. He Feng Yang felt somewhat irritated. He originally had such an intention, but now he knew that this scheme could not be implemented and was already useless. This kid is not easy to deal with, but how would he know so many GU refinement recipes? His background is definitely not simple. He Feng Yang felt some apprehension inwardly. He thought for a while more and laughed. This Fang Yuan doesn't know what's good for him. Are GU so easy to refine? Every GU refinement needs huge resources. The higher the rank of the GU to be refined, the higher the chances of failure and higher the losses. You kid, just how old are you? GU refinement cannot succeed just with innate talent, even more importantly, you need experience and accumulation. He Feng Yang did not know the exact details of Fang Yuan, and even more importantly he did not know that fixed immortal travel GU was refined by Fang Yuan. If he knew, he would definitely not be able to laugh. He Feng Yang continued to read. He has requested relic GU 2. A yellow gold relic GU and 3 purple crystal relic GU. He Feng Yang's gaze paused as he understood Fang Yuan's scheme. Fang Yuan had rank 4 upper stage cultivation, this was already noticed by the 10 sects, GU Immortals, and was not a secret. If Fang Yuan used a yellow gold relic GU, he would be at rank 4 peak stage. After advancing to rank 5 initial stage, he could use the 3 purple crystal relic GU one by one and directly jump to rank 5 peak stage. Immortal Crane sect was one of the 10 great sects of Central Continent and had abundant resources, it naturally had these relic GU. Every year, there would be disciples and elders who would contribute the relic GU they obtained to the sect in exchange for contribution points. And the sect would place these green copper to purple crystal relic GU as rewards for sect missions. He Feng Yang could easily bring out these relic GU, but letting Fang Yuan advance to rank 5 so fast did not sit well with Immortal Crane sect's benefits. I will first hand over 1 purple crystal GU to create envy in this kid. These relic GU are the things he wants the most, we will use it to get a hold on him and make him exchange them with guts GU. He Feng Yang continued to read the letter. After the GU worms were names of some materials. These materials were also common for the most part. Although there were some precious GU refinement materials listed, they were few in number. It seems this kid's main plan is to refine GU. HMPH, you want to refine? Go ahead, but why does he need star hair and bile, toad stones, ascension wine, and these other extremely uncommon materials? There were very few recipes that included the use of these materials. Some of these materials had value that could compare to parts of a desolate beast. Even He Feng Yang would have to expend some effort to get these things. Whether this kid is deliberately mystifying it to scatter my attention or is really refining some rare GU, I cannot give all these materials to him at once. I need to make him feel anxious to probe out his true intent. For this transaction, I will give him a vat of ascension wine. This ascension wine was a top-quality wine brewed by Immortal Crane Sect's Supreme Third Elder. Over 100 years ago, He Feng Yang had officially sided with the Third Elder. In the banquet, the Supreme Third Elder was in a great mood and rewarded him with 3 vats of ascension wine. Supreme Third Elder liked drinking wine and it was one of his hobbies. However, He Feng Yang did not like to drink and ascension wine was worthless to him. He Feng Yang saw each part of the desolate beast listed at the end of the letter. He licked his lips. This was a desolate beast, an existence that could be compared to GU immortals. Such a complete desolate beast corpse, looks like the earthly calamity. This time was the desolate beast calamity. This kid's luck is really good, using Danghun Mountain to destroy the swamp crab's soul and obtain such a complete corpse. He Feng Yang instantly guessed the details of the earthly calamity. We can completely procure this swamp crab, but why has he not requested rockmen? Could it be that he does not know of the rockmen because of limited knowledge? Or is it because the group that migrated at that time is still alive? There is too little information. What was the situation in Hu Immortal Blessed Land? How did Fang Yuan obtain fixed immortal travel GU? Who was behind him? He Feng Yang did not know the answers to any of these questions. The 5 great regions, Central Continent, Southern Border, Northern Plains, Western Desert and Eastern Sea, were mutually independent, separated by barriers, and each of them were incomparably vast. Immortal Crane Sect had yet to grasp the whole Central Continent, let alone make contact with every region of Southern Border. However, after Fang Yuan seized Hu Immortal's inheritance, Immortal Crane Sect had already sent elders to Southern Border to investigate. Several days later, "We're here, plant the spirit spring at this location." On the grassland, Fang Yuan stopped walking and said to Little Hu Immortal following behind him. Little Hu Immortal nodded her little head and raised her palm, upon which a spring egg GU flew out. Spring egg GU landed on the ground and drilled deep underground. Within moments, Fang Yuan felt the ground shake and could hear the sound of flowing water becoming louder rapidly. And then, a fountain of spring water spurted out of the ground and flew as high as 20 to 30 meters. The spring water was milky white and produced water vapor. After a few breaths' time, Fang Yuan could feel the primeval energy in the air becoming very dense. Primeval energy is the origin energy of all living beings. With the increase in primeval energy, the land will become more fertile, vegetation will flourish and beast groups will prosper even more. There will be a lot of benefits to the rockmen as well. Fang Yuan nodded his head in satisfaction. The transaction with Immortal Crane Sect was a success. Fang Yuan sold the whole swamp crab's corpse and in return obtained most of the things he needed. Among them were 3 spring egg GU. This spring egg GU was a rank 5 GU and was a one-time expendable GU that could turn into a small-scale spirit spring. It had a high demand on primeval essence to be activated, and even rank 5 upper stage GU masters would have to exhaust all their primeval essence to succeed in activating it. Fang Yuan was only at rank 4 upper stage and was absolutely unable to activate spring egg GU. But fortunately, he had the Little Hu Immortal Land Spirit as his helper. Fang Yuan buried these 3 spring egg GU near the Rockmen tribes. After the trial of the 6th earthly calamity, there were only a few pitiful fox groups left in Hu Immortal Blessed Land and were not worth nurturing. Fang Yuan thus put all his attention on the Rockmen tribes. Now, there were only a few hundreds Rockmen left, much lesser than the foxes. However, with Danghun Mountain and these 3 spirit springs, the Rockmen tribes could rapidly grow and develop. Master, this is awesome. With 3 spirit springs, our green grape immortal essence expenditure will greatly reduce. Little Hu Immortal looked at the spurting spring water and narrowed her eyes in happiness. These 3 spirit springs can produce at least 300 million primeval stones and can last for 50 to 60 years. But if we look at the whole blessed land, it is far from enough. It is lacking even for the southern area of the blessed land. Fang Yuan calculated. Spirit springs were classified into small scale, mid-scale and large scale. Small-scale spirit springs could last for 50 to 60 years, Mid-scale spirit spring could last for about 100 years and more, large-scale spirit spring could last for centuries. The spurting spring water loosened the surrounding soil and the spring mouth gradually enlarged. The force of the spring water was not enough and its height slowly reduced. In 4 to 5 days, the spring mouth would form and the spirit spring would start flowing, spreading to the surrounding soil. In several months, the dense primeval energy would condense into the first batch of primeval stones. Let's return. The Rockmen tribes should be having the time of their lives now. Fang Yuan commanded the land spirit. The next moment, the two teleported to Danghun Mountain. Heavens, so many gutstones. The place is in a mess, there definitely was a huge battle here. Maybe that male immortal is already dead. Our Rockmen tribe's glorious days are coming. We will have endless offsprings. Tribe leader Yan Yang, we can establish the world's largest Rockmen tribe. The Rockmen cheered and shouted, indulging in this moment of happiness and fortune. Danghun Mountain was filled with gutstones. There was one every 5 steps. The Rockmen struck the gutstones in a frenzy and strengthened their soul. There were many young Rockmen who also struck the gutstones and rapidly strengthened their newborn souls, allowing them to control more rocks as their body. There were only a few hundreds Rockmen at first, but in only a day, their population expanded by 10 times. The more the population grew, the faster they multiplied. On the morning of the second day, their population broke 10,000. On the evening of the third day, their numbers reached 300,000. All the gutstones on Danghun Mountain were plucked clean. On the fourth day, Danghun Mountain started emitting pressure and the Rockmen could only reluctantly leave the place, majestically returning to their homes. There were unexpected gifts, the new 3 spirit springs, waiting for them there. Chapter 422 Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Chapter 422, Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Blub 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 blub. In a huge 5-man tall cauldron, green-blue colored liquid was bubbling inside. The liquid seemed to be boiling, but cold air was emitting from it, even a Rockman's hand would turn into an icicle if he placed it in. Fang Yuan stood before the large cauldron, multitasking as he controlled it while taking out a primeval elder GU. He multitasked, activating primeval elder GU as primeval stones flew out from within. Plop plop plop. Primeval stones caused a splash when they entered the cauldron. Primeval elder GU was a rank 3 storage GU, it could hold up to 1,000,000 primeval stones. It was shaped like a crystal ball, half-transparent with clouds forming into an old man inside. The old man smiled when there were a lot of primeval stones inside, and cried when there were few primeval stones. As large amounts of primeval stones were thrown in, the old man's smile turned into a bitter expression. Fang Yuan expended around 500,000 primeval stones for this refinement. If it was the past, he would not be able to afford it. But now, he is affluent. After he sold the desolate beast swamp crab and bought quite a bit of things, he had around 6 million primeval stones left. As primeval stones were thrown in, a large spiral formed inside the cauldron, causing the liquid to flow faster. The cauldron was slightly shaking. At this crucial moment, Fang Yuan invested all his concentration into it, he could not be distracted anymore. Sweat quickly formed on his forehead, he could only call out, "Land Spirit." Yes. Little Hu Immortal responded quickly, throwing pieces and pieces of silver ingots into the cauldron. The ingots entered the liquid, causing the spiral to slow down. One by one, the ingots fell in until the surface of the cauldron became still, forming into silver-colored ice. Eventually, all the liquid inside was frozen, large amounts of silver-colored mist flew out, freezing the entire cauldron. In fact, it extended 5 steps from the cauldron, dyeing the ground silver. Fang Yuan breathed heavily. After refining GU for 3 days, it's finally done. Up. Silver-colored ice broke apart, and GU worms flew out. These GU were all rank 3, they were shaped like little cups, while also resembling trumpet flowers. 3 of them could fit on one palm. They were silver in color, used to hold liquid or store GU worms. Little Hu Immortal counted, smiling brightly, clapping her hands. 137, 146, 159. Master, you are amazing, refining 159 rank 3 GU worms at once. We can sell these for quite a sum. What are these GU worms? Hehe, these are silver cup GU, we have to use them to refine GU, they are not for sale. Fang Yuan smiled. 380 years into Fang Yuan's previous life, these silver cup GU were created by a GU Immortal. Continuing to refine them until they were rank 5, that was the GU Fang Yuan needed. Of course they could not be sold now. These days, I used a large number of guts GU to raise my soul to 52 times of a normal person. Thus, I did not feel much fatigue, and was able to refine so many GU at once. Fang Yuan was extremely pleased with the results of this refinement. The benefits of having a strong foundation in his soul was shown here. If He Fengyang saw this, he would no longer underestimate Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's ability at refining GU had already greatly exceeded his own. But his head was still dizzy. Every GU refinement caused a strain on the soul, it used a lot of mental energy, not to mention Fang Yuan's large-scale refinement. If it was before, Fang Yuan could only sleep to rest his soul. But now, he had a better method. Land spirit, this cauldron is useless now, get rid of it, I am going outside to walk. Yes master. Little Hu Immortal immediately got to work. 3 to 4 days had already passed, large numbers of gutstones had formed on Danghun Mountain. Fang Yuan casually stepped on a few pieces, the guts GU that flew out recovered his soul, even strengthening it. Fang Yuan instantly felt the dizziness go away from his head, he could think at lightning speed. He laughed heartily. This guts GU is truly a divine GU, the effect is so amazing. In that case, I shall strengthen my soul to the limit today. 68 times. Fang Yuan felt refreshed, his movements were extremely fast and light. 77 times. Fang Yuan could think at lightning speed, every thought moved like a spark. 85 times. Fang Yuan's soul had already vaguely hit his body's limit. 92 times. Fang Yuan could clearly feel his own soul. In his perception, his soul was gray-white color, its outer appearance was just like Fang Yuan's appearance, except it was extremely strong, muscular and had a bear tiger-like body. As for Fang Yuan, although his body was muscular, he only had muscular shoulders with a thin waist. His soul was quite squeezed inside this body. Was he at his limit? 93 times. Fang Yuan used one more guts GU, his soul strengthened once again. This time, Fang Yuan felt an unprecedented feeling, it was amazing and comfortable. It felt 100 times better than taking drugs, eating good food, or having intercourse. It made a strong man like Fang Yuan groan out in pleasure. An indescribable sensation of comfort and addiction made him savor this feeling, unable to forget it. Fang Yuan's eyes shone in a cold light, his heart became alert. He stepped on a few more gutstone, and his soul got stronger again. The feeling of comfort this time was much more intense than before. 97 times, 98 times, 99 times. The feeling came from deep within his soul, it was so intense that Fang Yuan's body shuddered, his bones felt like they were melting and his muscles were twitching, it could not be described with words. 100 times. The intense sensation and addiction assaulted like a tornado, Fang Yuan almost fainted from this. This is the limit, I cannot use the guts GU anymore. Fang Yuan bit the tip of his tongue, using the pain to keep himself conscious, not falling into addiction. Normal people could only strengthen their soul by 100 times, it was called 100-man soul. This was also the extreme limit. If the soul strengthened just a bit more, it would explode in a loud bang. Like a stomach that burst from overeating. But the explosion of the soul was many times more severe than the bursting of a stomach. The soul would completely disperse in the air, completely destroyed, the flesh would be preserved for a while before rotting away, revealing the white skeleton. If Fang Yuan indulged in the feeling, and used one more guts GU, he would not even have the time to use spring-autumn cicada, he would die immediately, wiped off from this world. Too bad I don't have Luopo Valley, inside it, there is the bewilderment fog that can loosen the soul. There is also the Luopo wind that can cut the soul. After torture and trials, the soul will become more refined and condensed. Fang Yuan sighed in his heart. Simply strengthening the soul was a quantitative advantage. Only through refinement and purification can there be a qualitative advantage. In this world, there were many GU masters who cultivated their soul, they were called Soul Path GU masters. Soul Path and Strength Path were at the same level, glorious during the ancient times. Except, Strength Path was now at its lowest point, while Soul Path was staying strong, it was the largest path in the current world. The GU master who created the Soul Path is renowned in the entire world's history. He is Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Rank 9 GU master, standing at the top of the universe, looking down at mortals plainly, he was truly invincible, a legend who dominated his era. At the same time, he was the rank 9 GU immortal with the greatest killing nature. Among all immortal venerables and demon venerables, he killed the most people. During his dark era, he made the 5 regions into his personal slaughterhouse. All living beings were his livestock, they had no way to resist. Spectral Soul Demon Venerable once said, in this huge world, Danghun Mountain is the best at strengthening soul, and Luopo Valley is the best at refining soul. One mountain and one valley, if one had both, they would achieve great success in the soul path, and they would be able to dominate the world. Thus, Danghun Mountain and Luopo Valley were the two sacred lands of soul path GU masters. Fang Yuan obtaining Danghun Mountain was a huge blessing, he got a great deal from his rebirth. If he wanted to get Luopo Valley, there was little hope, he did not know where it was. But, even without Luopo Valley, I can use other soul path GU worms to replace it. Divine Soul GU, Dragon Soul GU, Ice Soul GU, Dream Soul GU, Moon Soul GU, General Soul GU, Grudge Soul GU, Poem Soul GU and others, they can all refine my soul and allow me to continue strengthening my soul, to break through 100-man soul, to reach 1000-man soul, or even 10,000-man soul. He could not get these GU from Immortal Crane sect. That is because these GU that were directly used on the soul, if Immortal Crane sect did something to them, it would be too dangerous. But Fang Yuan knew very little of these GU worms, recipes. Most importantly, he has not decided on which GU would suit him the most. For now, 100-man soul is sufficient to deal with my problems, I should place my energy on how to trade rockmen. Fang Yuan's train of thought came back to the matter at hand. He had already sold Swamp Crab, but next, he did not intend to sell the Gutstones. If he sold Gutstones, that would strengthen Immortal Crane sect, that was not favorable. For the following days, Fang Yuan continued to refine GU while cleansing his aperture. A month passed quickly, with the Nine Eyes Liquor Worm's help, Fang Yuan successfully advanced to rank 4 peak stage. At the same time, he refined 155 Gold Cup GU. Gold Cup GU and Silver Cup GU were about the same, they were rank 3 GU used to store fluids. Next, he used both Silver Cup GU and Gold Cup GU in refinement. After 7 days and 6 nights, his luck was not bad, he obtained 3 rank 4 Gold and Silver Cup GU. He put down his work at hand, and turned his attention to the rockmen. So many days have passed, the rockmen should have reproduced already. In a rockman's life, most of the time was spent on sleeping. Normally, when a rockman reaches 300 years old, his soul would accumulate to a degree, and he would produce an offspring. Next, every 200 years, he will produce one young rockman. Without accidents, a rockman can live to 1,000 years, and they would have 4 offsprings when they die. But because of the Gutstones, the rockmen tribes expanded rapidly, they had around 300,000 tribesmen now. The increased numbers caused the internal conflicts among rockmen to increase, intensify, and erupt. Rockmen's social system was very relaxed, it could at most govern 100,000 people. As expected, after some political strifes, the rockmen split into 3 groups, each with around 100,000 people, each occupying one spirit spring, making their new homes there. Fang Yuan took out the new slavery GU that he made and handed them to the little Hu Immortal. Slavery GU, ranged from rank 1 to 5. Fang Yuan refined rank 3 slavery GU only, it was enough to enslave the rockmen tribes. Little Hu Immortal teleported the slavery GU for about 10,000 miles away, using them on the most crucial rockmen. The rockmen's soul were not Fang Yuan's match, they were easily enslaved. In the blink of an eye, Fang Yuan controlled 3 rockmen tribe leaders including Yan Yong, as well as over a dozen rockmen tribe elders. At once, the 300,000 rockmen were under his control. Governing many lives and making great changes with just a wave of his hand, this was already showing the ability of a GU Immortal. Chapter 423 Fang Yuan, you little bastard. Chapter 423, Fang Yuan, you little bastard. Not selling Gutstones, but selling rockmen instead. He Feng Yong looked at the letter in his hand with a grim expression. In Hu Immortal Blessed Land, the Guts GU from Danghun Mountain was the thing Immortal Crane sect needed the most. Once they had the Guts GU to raise the foundation of their disciples, soul, Immortal Crane sect's strength in terms of disciples would rise by 30%. Furthermore, Gutstones could not leave Danghun Mountain, they could only be used on the spot. Thus, with this reason, Immortal Crane sect disciples could freely enter Hu Immortal Blessed Land. As time passed, Fang Yuan's alertness would gradually fall, and Immortal Crane sect would be free to set up some traps inside the Blessed Land. But Fang Yuan adamantly refused to sell the Gutstones. He Feng Yong was very troubled. Since when did great GU immortals like myself have to be subjected to such difficulties from a mere mortal rascal? He gritted his teeth as he thought, his handsome young face distorting with anger. He had battle strength, but he could not display them. Fang Yuan was hiding inside the Blessed Land like a tortoise, he also had fixed immortal travel GU and could leave at any time. He Feng Yang, and even the entire Immortal Crane sect were afraid of his trump cards, and thus did not dare to attack. It seems the rockmen that Hu Immortal brought into her blessed land are still alive. But this Fang Yuan is selling so many of these rockmen now, just how many guts Gu did he use to create them? Thinking of this, He Feng Yang's heart was bleeding. Several months had passed since the last transaction. The time in Hu Immortal blessed land was 5 times faster, thus he had around a year or so. Fang Yuan nurtured so many young and strong rockmen. If these expended guts Gu were given to Immortal Crane sect, and used to nurture disciples, how good would that be? But this rascal Fang Yuan, he would rather nurture rockmen than give these guts Gu to Immortal Crane sect. His motives are execrable, execrable. What made He Feng Yang most furious was not just this. Most importantly, he was angry at himself. These rockmen that Fang Yuan was selling, even if he was a Gu Immortal, his heart was moved. In a blessed land, if there were ample rockmen, Gu Immortals could develop their underground land and excavate large amounts of resources. All sorts of metals, gems, ore, as well as Gu worms, underground animals, they could be endlessly obtained. Other than that, if they had enough rockmen, they can build an underground city. This was, in a way, expanding the blessed land's territory. If there was no manpower in the blessed land, the resources Gu Immortals excavate would mostly be from the surface, it was limited. But if they had rockmen, and could even use the resources underground, the profits would be many times more than before. Thus, in the market, rockmen were in high demand and low supply. A rockman's life is mostly spent on sleeping. An ordinary rockman lives to 1,000 years old. In one life, they have 4 children. It was not impossible to use soul path Gu worms on them to raise their soul's strength. Many Gu Immortals tried it, but none succeeded. There was only one reason: cost. The value of a soul path Gu worms greatly exceeded a single rockman. Unless a Gu Immortal has a special need for rockmen, they would never profit from this. In this world, only Fang Yuan who controlled Dang Hun Mountain could nurture rockmen on such a scale. Furthermore, the price Fang Yuan quoted in this transaction was also very appealing. Even if Immortal Crane sect did not need it, they could resell it and earn at a huge profit. But because this was such a good deal, He Feng Yang felt extremely troubled. He knew this was bait from Fang Yuan. Not afraid that you aren't moved, just afraid you won't take the bait. Just as Fang Yuan had expected, He Feng Yang was already inclined towards the deal. Not just him, Immortal Crane sect would also be moved, and other Gu Immortals would also want this deal. The rockmen trading business could flourish for at least 100 years. This wicked little rascal Fang Yuan, he is really devious. But with this batch of rockmen, I could show some results to Supreme Grand Elder, Second Elder, and Third Elder. I can also make Lei Tan shut up. I can catch a breather in that case. He Feng Yang breathed heavily, calming his mind. He squinted his eyes, his mouth curling into a cold smile. But don't be too smug, Fang Yuan. Tit for tat, if you don't sell guts Gu, I will not sell relic Gu. Didn't you want yellow gold relic Gu and purple crystal relic Gu? No way in hell. Fang Yuan laid on his chair, looking at Immortal Crane sect's reply. Because Blue Charm Lightning Shadow was still guarding TNT Mountain, little Hu Immortal did not dare to open the Blessed Land's doors, thus Immortal Crane sect used the flying sword letter Gu this time. Fang Yuan took a look and understood the content. In He Feng Yang's letter, other than agreeing to the deal, he also stated his objective: to buy guts Gu. For the guts Gu, he could sell relic Gu, or even lend a hand to help survive the 7th earthly calamity. Fang Yuan chuckled continuously. Letting He Feng Yang into Hu Immortal blessed land was a greater danger than the calamity itself. That was impossible. As for the relic Gu, did he think that threat would be Fang Yuan's weakness? What a laughable idea. I will definitely not sell the guts Gu, but I can sell rockmen. I have no worries about attracting Immortal Crane sect. But I cannot just deal with Immortal Crane sect alone, I also need to expand my business further. Fang Yuan considered. With his 500 years of experience, Fang Yuan knew that his sale price is lower than the market value. Immortal Crane sect would definitely profit from this trade. But this was also arranged by Fang Yuan. That is because at the moment, he needed his identity as an Immortal Crane sect disciple, thus he also needed to maintain and sustain this fictitious relationship. With this profit, He Feng Yang's pressure would be lifted off him. He wants my blessed land, but I also need time to grow. After I become a Gu Immortal, would I still be afraid of Immortal Crane sect? Fang Yuan laughed plainly. He looked at the letter again. At the end of it, He Feng Yang decided on a time, and requested Fang Yuan to open the door, to send in the whole earth Gu. This was a very large-scale transaction. Fang Yuan was going to sell 60,000 rockmen. But these rockmen could not leave from the Blessed Land's doors. At the moment, that blue charm lightning shadow was still moving around TNT Mountain. If the doors were opened, and it managed to rush in, Fang Yuan would be in huge trouble. Thus in this situation, he needed to use Whole Earth GU. This GU was rank 5, and consisted of 2 GU, the main GU and the sub-GU. Its biggest use was to connect the two places with one tunnel. The GU master will enter from the sub-GU, and come out from the main GU, similarly for the opposite direction as well. Whole Earth GU was often used to connect two blessed lands. Normally, Whole Earth GU was used to transport and send resources. During war or battles, reinforcements could be sent in via the Whole Earth GU, assisting immediately. To undergo the transaction and send these rockmen away, Whole Earth GU has to be used inevitably. But I am worried that your Whole Earth GU might have some traps in it. I'd rather refine it myself. Fang Yuan thought about this and leaked the spring-autumn cicada's aura, refining the flying sword letter GU and rapidly writing a letter back to He Feng Yang. Half a day later, He Feng Yang received the letter, looking at it only to find large amounts of GU worms listed in it, and all sorts of ingredients. Oh, you don't want to use my Whole Earth GU, but you improved on the recipe and want to refine the new version yourself. He Feng Yang was furious. Bullshit. Whole Earth GU has already been used for 500 years, the recipe is known by all GU immortals, you think you can refine it further? Fang Yuan, this rascal's alertness is too high, he wants to use this chance to extort me, so that I would not dare to reject his deals again. I don't need to see to know that the relic GU or spring egg GU or some rare GU worms in the strength path is included None. He Feng Yang gave it a glance, but did not see any relic GU, spring egg GU, or any strength path GU listed. But there were a lot of uncommon GU, and even some low-ranking GU worms. The highest was rank 5 GU worms, the earth path build a mountain GU, normally used to increase the success rate of GU refinement. Other than that, he requested a lot of rank 4 GU, the commonly seen moving form GU, and the very useful another perspective GU. He Feng Yang wavered. Looking at this list, it seems he really is going to refine GU. As long as his luck is okay, the materials are enough to refine 3 Whole Earth GU. Don't tell me, he really improved the recipe of Whole Earth GU. No, Fang Yuan is a mere mortal, how can this be? But what if he has a GU immortal behind him? If it was an improved recipe, then the new GU would definitely be far stronger than Whole Earth GU. He Feng Yang's heart wavered. Even if he could not get the recipe, after Fang Yuan succeeds the refinement, he would have to give the sub-GU to him. By then, he as a GU immortal would be able to infer many details about the GU from that sub-GU, and he has a high chance of recreating the same recipe. 2 days later, Fang Yuan received the letter. Fang Yuan opened it and looked. Just as he expected, He Feng Yang made all sorts of excuses inside the letter, intentionally reducing the amount of many materials in GU worms. His motive was clear, he wanted to probe Fang Yuan's true recipe. Fang Yuan laughed and shook his head while sighing. This He Feng Yang was too meticulous in his thoughts, this was both a strength and a weakness. Although they had interacted for merely a few times, Fang Yuan had already seen through him. Fang Yuan replied blandly that He Feng Yang was not to reduce any of the materials, otherwise the refinement would fail. But He Feng Yang continued to argue and bargain, he said so much garbage that he almost believed his own excuses. After a few times, Fang Yuan, helplessly, chose to give in, writing another list. Lad, you are too young to compete with me. He Feng Yang saw this letter then handed over a portion of the materials, while finding excuses to delay the others. With the constant stalling, they wasted about 8 to 9 days. Only until Fang Yuan showed an extremely helpless and angry attitude did He Feng Yang stop, realizing that the time was ripe, using the 6th list which had far less materials to do his research. But his GU refinement skills were not good, even after researching it thoroughly, and trying a few times, he did not get any results. Half a month later, in Central Continent's time, he received the Whole Earth GU from Fang Yuan. He received it like a treasure, going into deep research again. But this time, he spent 3 days before successfully reverse engineering the recipe. Looking at this recipe, He Feng Yang screamed, "Fang Yuan, you little bastard! This is the normal recipe for Whole Earth GU." Immediately, he screamed and scolded Fang Yuan, calling him shameless, unscrupulous, devious, vile, and his insults even extended to Fang Yuan's ancestors. Chapter 424 We are going to slay an immortal. Chapter 424. We are going to slay an immortal. The west area of the Blessed Land was a vast grassland. It was a scene of green that extended all over the place. A newborn fox was having fun playing with a fluttering butterfly. In Hu Immortal Blessed Land, foxes were the strongest predator and thus had worry-free lives. Although they suffered an extreme grave loss during the sixth earthly calamity, they did not die out completely. On the vast grassland, the fox groups were slowly but surely growing. Suddenly, the space rippled and two figures appeared, scaring the little fox away. One was a man wearing a black robe. He was tall and valiant with black hair and eyes as deep as abyss. The other was a cute and young girl who was wearing colorful clothes. Her eyes shone like stars and she had a snowy white soft fluffy tail. The thin and long fur on her tail slightly shook with the wind. They were none other than Fang Yuan and Little Hu Immortal Land Spirit. The position is good, it should be here. Fang Yuan looked around before taking out a whole earth GU from his aperture. This GU looked like a walnut with a wooden and uneven surface, and was as large as a watermelon. Whole Earth GU was a rank 5 GU and required at least a rank 5 peak stage GU master to activate it with all his primeval essence. Fang Yuan naturally could not do it, thus he gave the GU to the land spirit. After Little Hu Immortal activated it, the whole Earth GU immediately burst out with intense scarlet rays of light before piercing into the ground. In an instant, red light shot to the sky and 50 kilometers of ground shook. The red light abruptly dissipated and a crack as big as 270 feet appeared on the ground. The soil around the crack bulged up, and if one were to look from above, it would look like a person's lips. Immediately following, the two sides of the cracks slowly opened up and revealed two rows of compact cube blocks of rocks resembling human teeth. The teeth also opened up and revealed an eerie large cave. "Master, I'm hungry," the lips-like crack opened and closed, unexpectedly speaking in a loud voice, causing the nearby ground to shake. Fang Yuan smiled and took out a primeval elder GU. He sent his primeval essence and the amiable-looking old man's happy expression gradually disappeared because large amounts of primeval stones were being taken out and thrown into the huge lips-like crack. After throwing in as much as 200,000 primeval stones, Fang Yuan stopped and put back the primeval elder GU into his aperture. The huge lips-like crack slowly closed, its two rows of giant stone teeth started grinding the primeval stones into powder. Gulp, there was a loud sound like that of a person swallowing food, it echoed and shook the ground. After swallowing these primeval stones, the lips-like crack calmed down and made no more noise. At this point, the whole Earth GU could be said to have succeeded. It could not be moved now, they would have to wait for He Feng Yang's sub-GU to activate before the two sides could link. Feeding the whole Earth GU was an extremely huge expenditure. It would have to be fed 200,000 primeval stones yearly. And a large amount of primeval stones needed to be used every time it was activated. Which ordinary GU master could use it alone? Besides the large sects and clans, only the GU immortals with huge resources could raise it and activate these whole Earth GU. Land Spirit, this place needs to be strictly guarded from now on. Enslave some fox groups and place them here, Fang Yuan said while looking at the large lips-like crack. Yes, Master, to protect our homes, we need to fight. That damned immortal has come back stronger, we need to advance against this hardship. For a beautiful future and for our tribesmen, raise your fists. Although there are some grudges between us and the other two clans, they are all small conflicts within our Stonemen tribes. This time, our three tribes will each send 20,000 warriors to form an army to march west and attack the Immortal's nest. This is a huge war, everything is for our people. Our parents and ancestors gave their lives and souls to defeat the Immortal, and create this peaceful life we are enjoying now. We need to follow the footsteps of our elders and advance courageously in this war. The land spirit mobilized fox groups to appear near the Stonemen tribes. The higher-ups of the Stonemen tribes took advantage of this to quickly form an allied army. The majestic allied army marched towards the west area. On their way, they had 5 to 6 small-scale fights. They all ended in the Stonemen army's victory while the fox groups had to retreat bit by bit. Look there, that is the demon's nest. Yan Yong walked in front towards the whole Earth GU. Oh Mother Earth, you are our mother and have nurtured us Stonemen. Why do you shield such an abominable immortal? Yan Yong shouted in deep pain. The huge crack slowly opened and Little Hu Immortal spoke after using a GU worm to change her voice. The Stonemen heard the gentle voice of a woman. Oh Stonemen, my children. I did not want to shield that immortal, but he entered my stomach and is hiding in my heart, threatening me to protect him. I will open my mouth, please come in and eliminate him, I will give you my blessing. The Stonemen were astonished at first before they started shouting enthusiastically. Mother Earth spoke. We are the warriors blessed by Mother Earth. How despicable is this immortal, actually threatening our benevolent and gentle Mother Earth. We will definitely cut him into 1,000 pieces. The allied army of the stonemen felt their morale rising to the limit. The large lips like crack opened wide. Yan Yang took the lead and shouted, "Stonemen, charge!" He then jumped into the cave. "Charge, we can't let our tribe's hero fight alone. Charge, we are fearless, we are omnipotent, we will kill the immortal. Mother Earth is on our side, this battle will be our win." The stonemen jumped like dumplings into the large crack. They fell down the dark tunnel for a while before they landed on the ground. "Where is this? It is completely dark. This is even darker than underground, we can't see anything. How can we fight if we can't see?" The stonemen were feeling doubtful when suddenly there was a huge coughing sound. A ball of light suddenly burst open above their heads. Rapid airflow instantly formed and carried them, as they were shot out. 230, 240, Immortal Crane sect's disciples were standing beside the whole Earth Goose sub-GU and were meticulously counting the stonemen that were shot out. After the stonemen were shot out by the huge lips like crack, they were immediately restrained by Immortal Crane sect's disciples when they fell on the ground, unable to resist and unable to move. Yan Yang and some stonemen elders stood at the side, looking at this scene in fear and their heads were lowered. He Feng Yang had been furious after being played by Fang Yuan, but he eventually took consideration of the whole situation and did not smash the whole Earth Goose sub-GU under his anger, but instead planted it on Fei He Mountain. As for the stonemen, Fang Yuan used their belief in Mother Earth and then used the fox groups and the stonemen higher-ups to smoothly entice 60,000 young stonemen into Fei He Mountain and sell them. Man is the spirit of all living beings. In this world, apart from the humans born from Renzo's proper bloodline, there were also variant humans. Variant humans might be more intelligent compared to other lifeforms, but they were far from having human wisdom. Hairy men were ignorant, eggmen were innocent, and stonemen were naive and barbaric. Even a smart 7 or 8-year-old child could deceive them. Whether it was southern border or central continent, such things often happened. Some kids would bump into hairy men or stonemen at some place and deceive them all the way to the market. The variant humans would be ignorant even after being sold off, still counting the money for them. With this transaction, Fang Yuan earned over 1,600,000 primeval stones. Although each of the 60,000 stonemen were young and energetic, they could not match the value of a swamp crab. On top of that, Fang Yuan had to pay for the GU refinement materials, and there was the loss of 65,000 primeval stones to use the whole Earth GU, and he also bought some common materials. He Feng Yang had raised the price by 10% as revenge, and also decreased many things Fang Yuan requested. Fang Yuan did not care, the things he really wanted were already in his hands. After the transaction was over, Yan Yang and the other stonemen elders followed the whole Earth GU back to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Fang Yuan had already arranged a proper explanation to them and was sure the stonemen tribes would not rebel. Even if there was a rebellion, he could kill them and raise another batch. In any case, there were still a lot of gutstones on Danghun Mountain. Fang Yuan calmed down in his mind and continued his cultivation. However, at rank 4 peak stage, 9 Eyes Liquor Worm had lost its use. Liquor Worm could purify the quality of the primeval essence, but only by a small realm. Fang Yuan was now at rank 4 peak stage and possessed the peak stage True Gold primeval essence. Another step forward would be rank 5 initial stage Light Purple primeval essence. Fang Yuan sealed the 9 Eyes Liquor Worm. This GU worm had accompanied him since Qingmao Mountain. From rank 1 Liquor Worm to current rank 4 9 Eyes Liquor Worm, now it could finally retire. By simply relying on True Gold primeval essence to nurture his aperture, Fang Yuan's cultivation had become slower. Naturally, because he was at Hu Immortal Blessed Land, his cultivation speed was at least 5 times faster than the ordinary GU masters in the outside world. With this speed, I will have at least rank 5 middle stage cultivation or even near to upper stage by the time the 7th earthly calamity strikes. Fang Yuan possessed a great aptitude now, breaking through to rank 5 was not a problem. However, the higher the GU master's cultivation, the more time it would take for them to advance. He had taken the purple crystal relic GU into consideration when he said rank 5 middle stage. Such speed compared to the 500 years of his previous life was countless times better. Now, he was just slightly above 30 and was already at rank 4 peak stage. While in his previous life, at this age, he was still struggling at rank 2 realm. But this speed is still slow. There is the 7th earthly calamity outside in the blessed land while I have a great internal threat called Spring-Autumn Cicada. Fang Yuan calculated that he would have to leave the blessed land in at most 3 years and go through a series of adventures. At least, he needed to find smooth success GU or immediate success GU to use on spring-autumn cicada and obtain a greater opportunity to live. Sigh, how I hope I could just keep on cultivating in the blessed land like Feng Juzhe and roam the world after reaching GU Immortal realm. Spring-autumn cicada's ability to let the GU master rebirth was not fake, but there were too many restrictions. Even if the rebirth succeeded, the GU master would have to guard against it bursting their aperture. If there was not such a great fault, Fang Yuan's cultivation would be many times easier. For the next 3 years, I will have to refine GU, use gutstones to expand the stonemen population and sell them for all kinds of resources. However, while Fang Yuan's plan was near flawless, it could not compete against fate's prank. Merely a month later, a huge change occurred that gave him no choice but to leave the blessed land to an earlier date. Chapter 425 Immortal GU in Mud. Chapter 425, Immortal GU in Mud. Crack, Fang Yuan crushed a gutstone in his hand. Immediately, mud flowed out, staining his palm. Fang Yuan's gaze was solemn. He picked another rock on the mountain and held it in his hand. His hand was stained with yellow mud. With a slow speed, it was slowly disintegrating the rock, turning the hard rock into more mud. A moment later, Fang Yuan could distinctly feel the rock shrinking. After 10 minutes, the rock completely turned into mud, vanishing. The yellow mud flowed down the space between Fang Yuan's finger, flowing onto Danghun Mountain and continuing to cause damage to the mountain. Fang Yuan was quiet for a moment before speaking, asking, "How severe is the situation?" Little Hu Immortal wiped her tears as she sobbed, answering, "Most of Danghun Mountain had been affected by the mud. 6 out of 10 of the gutstones below the mountain waste is turning into mud. Master, what do we do? Danghun Mountain is going to perish." Sob. "It is my fault, I did not notice it earlier." Fang Yuan patted Little Hu Immortal's head, consoling, "This is not your fault, you do not need to blame yourself. The culprit is that swamp crab, as expected of a desolate beast, as expected of an earthly calamity. Land spirits' abilities are all different, they all differed and were greatly dependent on the GU Immortals and their blessed lands." He sighed, continuing, "I was still rejoicing earlier than the desolate beast did not have an immortal GU. It turns out this swamp crab used an expenditure-type immortal GU and hid the goose power inside this mud. Nothing happens if it comes into contact with flesh, but all mountain rocks would be turned into mud upon touching it. During the calamity earlier, the swamp crab spewed out large volumes of mud, and the crab army appeared from within the mud. Fang Yuan killed an immense number of crabs, but little did he know, the real trump card was the mud itself. Fang Yuan guessed that this is the effect of the rank 6 Gruel Mud GU. Gruel Mud GU was a naturally formed GU, very commonly seen as rank 1 and 2, and still rather popular as rank 3 and 4. It was often used by GU masters to build cities. As rank 5 GU were rare, many rank 5 GU masters would choose to temporarily use this Gruel Mud GU when they did not have a good rank 5 GU. When this rises to rank 6, there would only be one in the world, and this GU was a one-time expenditure type. Gruel Mud GU can only be used on mud. Evidently, the swamp that swamp crab used to live in was created from the effects of Gruel Mud GU. The swamp crab ate and defecated mud in the swamp every day, thus it was able to bring the ability of the Gruel Mud GU into Hu Immortal Blessed Land. After the swamp crab died, although the battlefield was cleaned up, large amounts of mud had already seeped into the mountain, moving deep underground. Gruel Mud Immortal Gu's ability was so hidden, and there was no immortal GU aura in the yellow mud. If Fang Yuan had not ordered the rockmen to crush the gutstones, he might not have found out at all. But even if he found out early, he had no ability to stop this during the calamity. Fang Yuan's expression was still as water. Danghun Mountain was being corroded by an immortal GU, slowly turning into yellow mud. This was a great nightmare. The last valuable thing in this blessed land was this mountain. He wanted to rely on this mountain to nurture and sell rockmen. In the future, his own soul strengthening will also depend on this mountain. He could not sit around and watch the situation worsen. At once, Fang Yuan ordered Little Hu Immortal to clear out as much yellow mud as possible. This way, the danger was greatly slowed. But Danghun Mountain's interior was also corroded. This method could not cure the root of the problem. This was the power of the Gruel Mud Immortal GU. To remove it, he needed to use an immortal goose power. I took such a huge risk to obtain this sacred land for soul strengthening. Even after I become an immortal, this mountain is still extremely valuable. I cannot let it be destroyed. Heaven does not want this sacred land to end up in the hands of men, thus it sent such a calamity, but I will defy heaven. Competing with men, competing with heaven, this is the fun of life, that's all there is. With Fang Yuan's knowledge, he was not helpless and without a solution. He thought of more than 10 ways to solve this, after eliminating half of which were not feasible, and removing those which were too hard, he was left with 3 solutions. The first solution was the Earth Path Rank 6 Turn Rock GU. This GU was in Western Desert, held in the hands of Rank 6 GU Immortal Sun Cu. Sun Cu is a righteous path GU master. He used this GU to turn sand into rocks, in order for people to build structures in the desert. He was very popular and received gratitude from the people. He was kind-hearted but not resolute. He loved his family and doted on his granddaughter the most. If Fang Yuan could hold her hostage, he would definitely comply. The second solution was another Earth Path Rank 6 Immortal GU, called Rebuilding Mount Dongshan. This GU had already been refined. It was hidden in Eastern Sea's Haishi Blessed Land. Fang Yuan could enter the Blessed Land and use an Immortal GU to exchange for this GU. The third was the Time Path Rank 6 Immortal GU, a mountain like before. This GU had not existed yet, it was not naturally formed. Its owner is Tai Bai Yun Shang. He was still a rank 5 GU master in Northern Plains at the moment. In southern border on Sancha Mountain, I refined fixed Immortal Travel GU in public. It is obvious without a doubt that southern border is already in a huge commotion over it. Immortal that possesses an Immortal GU, I'm afraid all those GU Immortals in southern border are all notified now, and are looking for me all over the continent. Until Fang Yuan becomes a GU Immortal, he was not going to step into southern border again. Although the 5 regions are isolated, the super clan Yi clan has a relationship with a mysterious organization in Eastern Sea. It will take at least 2 to 3 years until the news of me refining an Immortal GU reaches central continent, but that might not be the case for Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan eliminated Eastern Sea. As for Western Desert, it's the place where caravans flourish the most. Cities after cities, surviving using the oasis in the desert. If I can sell the rockmen there, I would earn a ton of profits. Unfortunately, a flourishing caravan trade means that information also travels fast. As a southern border GU master, I am an easy target. Once I reach there, I'd probably be marked the moment I enter a city. In Fang Yuan's previous life, he roamed around all 5 regions during the 500 years, finally choosing central continent to settle down, and become a GU Immortal. Thus, he had a clear understanding of Western Desert. Compared to Western Desert, Northern Plains is a huge grassland. All sorts of tribes graze their livestock, migrate, battle, and procreate there. There is high mobility and some small mid-tribes have chaotic management. I can easily blend in with them. Western Desert was different from Northern Plains. In Western Desert, humans relied on oasis to live, thus people are always gathered together. As long as the oasis is intact, nobody would make life difficult for themselves and go to another living area by making a dangerous and arduous desert journey. But in Northern Plains, tribes have to move around often, finding rich and fertile land to relocate to. The weather there is ever changing. Strong weather conditions can destroy homes in a night. Tribes have no choice but to move. Because of this, the high mobility among tribes also cause conflicts to occur often, and battles often takes place. Thus, the number of GU masters in Northern Plains is the highest, and they are also the ones most skilled at fighting among the 5 regions. If Fang Yuan chooses Western Desert, abducting a hostage and threatening a GU Immortal would cause a huge and lasting impact on the stability of Western Desert. But if he chose Northern Plains, even if he killed the rank 5 GU master Tai Bai Yun Shang, it would only be a mild commotion. In a few months, people will forget him. Fang Yuan thought it through, and decided that the chaotic Northern Plains is most suitable for his actions. Sun Cu in Western Desert is already a GU Immortal, while Tai Bai Yun Shang in Northern Plains is still a rank 5 peak stage. After deciding on his destination, Fang Yuan started to think hard, compiling all the important information he had in his memories to organize his plans for Northern Plains. Plans do not keep up with changes. Ever since rebirth, his plans had been changing continuously. The first time was on Qingmao Mountain when he became a rank aptitude. It was a huge breakthrough and thus caused a shift. Sancha Mountain was the second change. Fang Yuan soared to the sky in a single step, making all his plans unusable. Although there were still benefits in the Great Battle of Yitian Mountain, he could no longer stay in southern border. As for Central Continent, that would be even worse. He was immortal, the 10 righteous sects, the whole of Immortal Crane sect, and all the demonic GU Immortals on TNT Mountain were looking at him. As long as he did not reach GU Immortal Realm, he would have to stay inside the Blessed Land, unable to come out. He had also planned to do that, growing his strength inside Hu Immortal Blessed Land. The Blessed Land had ample resources. Fang Yuan wanted to be like Feng Zhuzhe, cultivating in secret until he reached Gu Immortal realm, and get rid of the biggest problem called Spring-Autumn Cicada. Although Fang Yuan was a risk-taker, and liked to make profitable gambles, often struggling at death's door, it did not mean he rejected a peaceful and stable life. Refusing to stay in a safe environment, and wanting to go around and create trouble for himself, taking risks and getting himself into danger, that is a fool. Loneliness, solidarity, boredom, those were not obstacles to Fang Yuan's cultivation. If he did not have the nature to endure these, how could he walk on the road to success? But the world never goes your way, problems often find you when you least want it. Fang Yuan wanted to cultivate in secret, developing the blessed land as he lived in peace. Although Immortal Crane sect was trouble, Fang Yuan kept the initiative the entire time. Although the other party is strong, they cannot do anything to him at the moment. The future prospects were great, his life was going smoothly, everything had changed for the better. But at this moment, a problem happened to Danghun Mountain. To Hu Immortal Blessed Land, Danghun Mountain's importance is insurmountable. If anything happens to this mountain, Fang Yuan's transactions would crumble, and his cultivation plans would turn into a mere dream. Thus, Fang Yuan had to change his plans, leaving the Blessed Land and entering Northern Plains. Thankfully, I planned in advance, and made a few backup plans, otherwise, I would be extremely caught off guard now. For the next few months, Fang Yuan spent all his efforts on GU refinement. He used the rank 4 Golden and Silver Cup GU, combining with rank 4 another Perspective GU and rank 4 Moving Form GU to refine the rank 5 Moving Perspective Cup GU. Next, he refined Dusty GU, Bright Pearl GU, Dark Toss GU and Earth Treasury Flower King GU. Land Spirit, during the days I'm gone, follow my instructions. Before leaving, Fang Yuan instructed. Little Hu Immortal's eyes were red as she said reluctantly, Master, I am waiting for you here, you have to return quickly. Saying so, she used the green grape Immortal essence and injected it into Fixed Immortal Travel GU. With the burst of a jade green light, Fang Yuan vanished on the spot. Chapter 426 Stepping into Northern Plains. Chapter 426 Stepping into Northern Plains. Howl. In the night sky on the grassland, Poison-Beard Wolf King raised its head, howling loudly for a long time. The ears of the few hundred poison-beard wolves near it twitched, as their bodies shot out like arrows. The wolves split into two, moving in a tight army-like formation. The young girl Zhe Yao ran for her life. But her horse had already died. As her small red shoes stepped on the mud, she felt like her legs were tied with lead, extremely heavy. The sprinting poison-beard wolves successfully encircled her, and the two ends met. They were afraid of the young girl's GU worms, thus they only circled around her and did not attack immediately. All of a sudden, a poison-beard wolf lost its patience and jumped out. Moving quickly, its body turned into a lump of black shadow as it charged towards Zhe Yao. Zhe Yao shouted, using her GU worms. As she pointed her finger, a light blue water arrow flew out. The water arrow pierced through the poison-beard wolf's head accurately while spiraling. This courageous wolf died on the spot. Its corpse fell on the slightly rotten grassland as it tumbled backwards, until it stopped moving forever. Bright red blood quickly flowed out of its wounds, staining the grass nearby. The restless wolves stopped momentarily, but soon the smell of blood spread in the air and the wildness and savageness of the wolves were brought out. At once, hundreds of poison-beard wolves started howling. Zhe Yao's beautiful face was full of regret and despair. She should not have come out alone, to this poison grassland, trying to find some spirea. Now she was in a deadly situation, about to be torn apart and eaten by wolves. Sorry father, I am not longer able to take care of you. Daughter knows that you arranged a marriage for my own good. But daughter does not want to marry. O our ancestors in longevity heaven, if you can hear me, listen to my prayer and send a courageous warrior to save me. The attack earlier had expended Zhe Yao's last bit of white-silver primeval essence. Zhe Yao could only pray now. The wolves lost their patience, the Wolf King howled, and all the poison-beard wolves charged towards the girl at the center, giving off an impressive aura. I am going to die. Zhe Yao's expression paled, she looked at the wolf group in a daze, she was helpless. Right at this moment, a bright jade green light flashed. The poison-beard wolves shut their eyes due to the light, howling in pain. The wolves that charged ahead knocked into one another, falling and causing a chain reaction, as their assault failed and the scene turned into chaos. What happened? Zhe Yao was shocked, ignoring her tears, she looked over. From the jade green light, the silhouette of a young man could be seen. After the light faded, a naked man appeared in front of Zhe Yao. Man. Zhe Yao's eyes were wide open, her mouth formed into an O shape. She had an unbelievable thought. Did my ancestors in longevity heaven listen to my prayers and send a savior to me? But why was this savior naked? A huge question appeared in Zhe Yao's mind. I reached northern plains. Stepping on the grass barefooted, Fang Yuan looked around quickly. Oh, why is there a human here in wolves? Fang Yuan squinted, to think that an accident occurred the moment he reached northern plains. This trip to northern plains had to be kept secret, to think that he was exposed so quickly. The Wolf King howled, turning around as it opened its mouth, attacking Fang Yuan with its sharp and pointy teeth, targeting his neck. HMPH, a mere 100-beast king, Fang Yuan's eyes shone with cold light, as a golden dragon appeared before him. Rank 4 Golden Dragon GU. Roar. The four-clawed golden dragon roared, brandishing its claws as it flew towards the poison-beard Wolf King, crashing into it. This 100-beast king's body was completely smashed, all its bones broke as it was sent flying like a rag. After crashing onto the ground, it struggled, but could not get up. Fang Yuan frowned slightly, using another golden dragon to finish off the Wolf King. After the Wolf King died, the wolf group broke down as they all escaped several miles away in a few breaths' time. Only the Wolf King's corpse was left, and also the young girl Zhe Yao who was staring at Fang Yuan blankly. Fang Yuan directed his dark eerie gaze towards this young girl. The young girl was wearing a leather robe exclusive to northern plains. The robe was blue and white, with golden rims at the edges, showing off elegance and purity. There was a purple gold belt at her waist, and also many beautiful and small accessories on her black lustrous hair. She also had bright red leather shoes. Her skin was slightly dark, but still had a pinkish tone. It was the unique skin tone of northern plains natives. Her body was slim and strong, like a cute little deer. Zhe Yao retreated one step after Fang Yuan's stare, and she asked curiously, "Who are you? Are you sent from longevity heaven, the hero who is tasked to save me?" Before waiting for Fang Yuan's reply, she continued, "I am a member of Zhe tribe, my name is Zhe Yao. My father is the tribe leader of Zhe tribe. Young warrior, you saved my life, you will be most welcomed in Zhe tribe." "Oh, I have not asked for your name yet." Fang Yuan laughed heartily. "Beautiful lady of the grassland, just call me Chong Shan Yin. Longevity heaven is giant son Immortal Venerable's place of residence. How could I have come from there? I am but a mere GU master." Saying so, he took out a wine cup from his aperture. The top half of this cup was gold, the bottom was silver. It was rank 5 and was used as storage. It was the moving perspective cup GU that Fang Yuan refined in the Blessed Land. After Fang Yuan injected primeval essence into it, he took out a set of clothing. This was a set of black tight-fitting battle attire. After wearing it, Fang Yuan gave off a sturdy and valiant aura. During the process, Zhe Yao stared at him fixatedly, her heart pounding as her face turned red. The young women in the grassland were this open about their feelings. After Fang Yuan wore his clothes, he walked towards the corpse of the poison-beard Wolf King. Poison-beard wolves were commonly seen in northern plains. But different from other wolves, they did not have a strand of fur, instead their bodies were black and their skin looked as it was covered in a layer of enamel. They did not have ears, only 2 long mustaches that were 5 inches long. When they ran, their mustache will sway along the wind, beside their bodies. When they fought, the mustache will stand up straight. Fang Yuan searched but did not gain anything. This poison-beard wolf was a 100-beast king, it had rank 2 GU worms in it. There were 2 rank 2 GU worms on this wolf, Acid GU and Poison Needle GU. Acid GU could allow it to shoot out green acid from its mouth, corroding flesh or even steel and rocks. Poison Needle GU shot out poison needles. It was an offensive technique. But unfortunately, Fang Yuan only got fragments of these 2 GU. There were no defensive GU on this Wolf King, no wonder it was so easily killed by Fang Yuan. Normally, Beast Kings could have enslavement GU in them. For example, on a Dog King, there might be Dog enslavement GU, on a Wolf King, there might be Wolf enslavement GU. Even if it was a rank 2 Wolf enslavement GU, Fang Yuan needed it now. Just as Fang Yuan was searching the wolf corpse, Zhe Yao walked over. "Chong Shan Yin, your name sounds familiar. Are you a member of Chong tribe? But looking at your clothes, you seem to be an outsider. Are you from Eastern Sea, Central Continent, or Western Desert?" Fang Yuan stood up. "I am from Northern Plains." The young girl pouted, showing her white teeth as she laughed. "Liar. We Northern Plains natives do not have an accent like yours. Warrior Chong Shan Yin, don't worry, you saved my life, you are a benefactor of the Zhe tribe, we will not ostracize you." Be it central continent, southern border, or northern plains, as long as it is an outsider, they will be ostracized. Before waiting for Fang Yuan's reply, the bubbly girl pointed at fixed immortal travel GU on Fang Yuan's shoulder, asking, Warrior Chong Shanyin, this GU on your shoulder is so beautiful, what GU is this? Did you bring this GU over? Fang Yuan's gaze concentrated, observing this young girl's expression. She was not acting or pretending, she really had shallow knowledge, she did not know this fixed immortal travel GU, this made Fang Yuan slightly relieved. The killing intent in his heart surged, but he showed an honest and sincere smile on the outside. Beautiful young girl, are you a lark? Why are you constantly chirping non-stop? He, alright, I have to go, until we meet again. Fang Yuan raised his head, looking at the stars in the sky, trying to determine the direction. Next, he walked past Zhe Yao, towards the deeper parts of the poison grassland. The young girl quickly caught up. I am not a lark, it's your fault for being so mysterious and appearing so suddenly. Hey, don't go there. This direction is the way out of poison grassland. I am going inside, Fang Yuan replied without turning around. Why are you going in? The deeper you go into the poison grassland, the more dangerous it gets. Although you are rank 3 peak stage, your fists cannot rival an entire wolf pack. Zhe Yao sprinted towards Fang Yuan, urging him. The 5 regions of the GU world were independent. When GU masters cross regions, their battle strength will be suppressed by 1 rank. Fang Yuan was a southern border GU master. When he is in northern plains, he will be suppressed when battling. Although his aperture still has rank 4 peak stage true gold primeval essence, the effectiveness was only at rank 3 peak stage snow silver primeval essence. Thus, Zhe Yao felt that his aura was rank 3 peak stage. In addition, the rank 4 Golden Dragon GU from Southern Border could only display the strength of a rank 3 GU. If this was Southern Border, 1 blow from the Golden Dragon GU would have killed this poison beard wolf without doubt. But here in Northern Plains, Fang Yuan had to use it twice to kill the Wolf King, and the Wolf King's corpse was still intact at the end. Fang Yuan's steps halted, as he looked at Zhe Yao with a solemn expression and a determined gaze. I am going into poison grassland for my own reasons. Zhe Yao was stunned by this aura, reacting only after Fang Yuan had walked a few steps away. The girl quickly chased him. Warrior Chong Shanyin, I'll go with you, we can take care of each other. Got her. Fang Yuan's lips curled into a smile. His currently battle strength was only rank 3 peak stage, it was insufficient to charge into poison grassland's deepest part. Thus, he needed Northern Plains GU worms to arm himself. But even if he killed Zhe Yao, he might not get her set of GU worms. Thus, Fang Yuan set a little trap, purposely acting distant, easily tricking the young girl into joining him. Chapter 427 Just Take Me. Chapter 427, Just Take Me. Although this was Fang Yuan's motive and Zhe Yao took the initiative to join him, Fang Yuan still asked her, take care of each other. What do I need you for? Saying so, he ran his eyes over her, his tone carried a hint of arrogance. The girl immediately raised her head. Don't you know the poison grassland is filled with purple poison fog and you will be poisoned if you breathe it for a long time. I have detoxification GU worms with me. Also the deeper you go, the denser the poison fog will become as ghosts and spirits will also appear. At that time, you won't be able to distinguish the direction, and only my return heart GU can point out the correct way back. Goo. As the girl said this, her stomach suddenly let out a hungry rumbling sound. Fang Yuan glanced at her stomach and the girl immediately felt her face go red. She explained while stammering, this my big stomach horse was eaten by the poison beard wolves. My primeval stones and rations were all stored there. Big stomach horse was a mount that was extremely popular in Northern Plains. It had 2 stomachs, one was used to consume food and another was used to store goods. The GU masters of Northern Plains usually use this type of big stomach horse when relocating their homes. Fang Yuan curiously asked, since your father is Zhe tribe's tribe leader, why are you, his own daughter, using such a common mount? Sigh, he kept my GU away from me. Being able to escape alone with a big stomach horse and preparing so much resources was already amazing. Zhe Yao spoke frankly, but right after saying it, she felt something wrong and her expression turned sluggish as she realized what she had said. Escaped? Could it be that you are escaping from marriage? Fang Yuan raised his brows. The little girl exclaimed in surprise and looked at Fang Yuan with wide eyes. Do you have mind reading GU? How did you know? Fang Yuan laughed. He was only guessing, but it was not without any evidence. In northern plains, the position of women was much lower than that of men, even being treated as goods and casually sold in markets. In southern border, there were female clan leaders, but northern plains had no such precedence and women were not allowed to be in power. Why was that so? This tradition dated back to the era of giant son Immortal Venerable. In Fang Yuan's memories, during these 3 years, many great heroes would fight for supremacy in northern plains and a great storm would blow. Eventually, He tribe leader He Lulan succeeded and became the lord of the imperial court for 10 years. He was also the most controversial lord of the grassland in future generations. He Lulan was extremely lecherous, and after becoming the ruler of the grassland, he made beauties of many tribes part of his harem. But on the other hand, he made a new policy to raise women's status and attempted to create gender equality. This gravely infringed upon all Foss's interests and led to conflicts, causing an institutional turmoil among all northern plains tribes. Thus, He Lulan had only been the lord of the grassland for 2 years when he was deceived by his own tribesmen to go outside the imperial court and was killed secretly. Immediately following, all tribes allied to overthrow He tribe's rule and again contended for the position of the ruler of the imperial court. The bloodshed and war lasted for an entire 5 years before it settled. After this chaotic war, every tribe of northern plains suffered great losses. And in the future, when central continent attacked the 4 other regions, this became the greatest weakness of northern plains. A lot of northern plains women thus choose to run away in order to avoid marriage. This girl standing before him had come alone to poison grassland even though she was the daughter of the tribe leader. Fang Yuan naturally made such a guess. Fang Yuan took out food from moving perspective cup Jiyu and gave them to Jie Yao. This girl seemed to be very hungry. She wolfed down the food and rolled her eyes, slurring her words. It was Man Duo of Man tribe who wanted to marry me. He is Man tribe leader's 3rd son and is thin and small, like a monkey. Moreover, he is suffering from illness and only has rank 2 cultivation. Usually, he would rely on his father to act tyrannically in his tribe. He has not the slightest bit of heroic spirit. I don't want to marry to such a good-for-nothing. But Man tribe was a huge force while our Jie tribe has just migrated over with greatly reduced strength. Man tribe's betrothal gift was also very grand and they also promised to give a piece of fertile grassland to my Jie tribe. Father wanted these gifts and tried to marry me off. And so in my fury, I fled. Warrior Chong Shan Yin, how about you snatch me? Northern plains had simple and coarse customs. One of their customs was bride kidnapping. The snatched bride was often more precious than an officially married wife. Fang Yuan laughed. I have no interest in you, eat quickly, we will leave after you are full. Jie Yao's dark pupils darted around. There is another method, that is, you can marry into my Jie tribe. According to the grassland customs, only a brave warrior can possess beauties. Even if Man tribe wants to find trouble, it has to be done according to the customs. Man Duo, that skinny monkey would have to challenge you to a fight. Warrior Chong Shan Yin, you are so strong, you will certainly beat that Man Duo to a pulp. Fang Yuan stopped smiling. I said I don't have any interest in you. Jie Yao, however, became even more passionate and displayed northern plains women's characteristic boldness and wildness. Why don't you have any interest? Could it be that I am not beautiful? I am the flower of Jie tribe. That kid Man Duo glanced at me from afar and fell for me at first sight, asking his father to propose the marriage. Warrior Chong Shan Yin, there are benefits for you as well in living with my Jie tribe. You are an outsider. If you don't marry into the tribe, others will not take you as one of their own and you will suffer exclusion and vigilance in northern plains. Fang Yuan said with a solemn tone, I said I am a northern plains native. Jie Yao gave a sweet smile. Warrior, you can't deceive me. Your accent revealed your background, and your food is also not the northern plains biscuits and dried meat. Just take me, don't you think our encounter is the arrangement of longevity heaven? Fang Yuan lowered his head to cover the cold light that was vaguely flashing in his eyes as the smile on his face became deeper. Let me consider it for a while, don't be in such a hurry to decide. Fang Yuan said and gave some primeval stones to Jie Yao. Jie Yao nodded. You have to think about it properly. She took the primeval stones and said with a cautious tone, I will return these primeval stones to you in the future. Fang Yuan nodded. Jie Yao did not speak anymore and concentrated on absorbing the primeval stones to replenish her primeval essence and recover her strength as fast as possible. As they continued moving deeper into the poison grassland, the thin poison in the air gradually became denser. They were unnoticeable before to the naked eyes, but now one could clearly see the light purple color. Stop, there is a wolf pack. Jie Yao suddenly stopped, her gaze revealing panic. Clearly, the battle with the poison-beard wolves had left a deep impression on her. Fang Yuan stopped, and after 3 breaths of time, he discovered the tracks of the wolf pack with his investigative Gu worm. He could not help but glance at Zhe Yao. Indeed, as a tribeswoman, the investigative Gu worm on her was great. Fang Yuan had refined this rank 4 investigative Gu in Immortal blessed land. But in northern plains, it was suppressed and could not compare to Zhe Yao's rank 3 Gu. The wolf pack's excited howls got louder and louder. Soon, hundreds of poison-beard wolves appeared in their vision. So many wolves. Zhe Yao's face turned pale and her delicate body trembled as she took in a breath of cold air. The wolf pack's numbers were many times higher than the previous ones, reaching close to 1,000. The stronger the Beast King, more the number of beasts they could control, this 100 Beast King was clearly much stronger than the previous one. HMPH, what are you panicking for? Just protect yourself. Fang Yuan snorted and fiercely stomped his foot, charging forward. Zhe Yao exclaimed in shock at this. She wanted to call out to Fang Yuan but he had already entered the wolf pack. Many poison-beard wolves ran and charged at Zhe Yao. The girl shouted in her delicate voice, "Water armor." Immediately, water vapor condensed and formed into a layer of light blue armor that covered her whole body. Spiral water arrow Gu. She extended her finger and a spiral water arrow flew out. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. She killed 3 poison-beard wolves instantly while injuring 5 or 6 more. But at the same time, a dozen poison-beard wolves came charging at her. The girl panicked and retreated, responding in a flustered manner. Water dragon Gu. She pushed with her palms and a 3-clawed water dragon whistled out and swept through the surroundings, increasing the water vapor in the air. With the appearance of the water dragon, Zhe Yao was able to control the situation. Warrior Chong Shan Yin, don't die. The girl immediately looked at the center of the wolf pack. She was almost stunned at the sight. The scene she saw was not what she had expected. She only saw Fang Yuan charging all over the wolf pack. Every collision would send large numbers of poison-beard wolves flying. The ferocious poison-beard wolves seemed to be weaker than sheep in front of him. His whole body was covered in a layer of bright golden light armor, and a golden dragon came out occasionally, sweeping through the surroundings. There were so many poison-beard wolves, but they could not subdue him. He was fierce and fearless, his fighting style was extremely valiant, his every move would cause the wind to scream. His strength was so huge that as long as a poison-beard wolf came into contact with his fists or kicks, their skeleton would definitely shatter and they would howl with pain, no longer able to stand up. Not only that, he was also fighting an intense battle with the Wolf King. This poison-beard Wolf King was indeed very strong. Lightning flickered around its whole body, and it occasionally shot out green venom. Its movement speed was so fast that it created an afterimage when it ran. This Wolf King has at least 3 wild Gu. Zhe Yao's heart sank as she learned this, becoming worried for Fang Yuan. Soon, the girl let go of her worry and admiration towards Fang Yuan rose in her heart. Fang Yuan fought in a smart manner. He was continuously on the move and did not blindly engage with the Wolf King, instead using the ordinary poison-beard wolves to hinder the Wolf King's movement. The Wolf King had movement Gu but it was restrained by the wolf pack and could only passively take a beating. Fang Yuan's fists attacked its targets with high power. Zhe Yao's blood boiled at the scene. This is a true man, she exclaimed in her mind, and after disposing of the poison-beard wolves around her, she shouted loudly and sent the water dragon to kill the wolf pack. She was after all a rank 3 middle stage Gu master, she was not to be underestimated. The wolf pack immediately turned chaotic from the attacks and a large portion of them rushed towards her. Fang Yuan's expression changed as he shouted, "Who told you to come? Move to the side." The girl's face turned pale at the wolf pack's counterattack and immediately retreated. Fang Yuan continued to attack with boundless vigor, and after spending a huge effort, he finally turned the wolf pack's attention back to him. After some time, he suddenly activated a beast phantom and smashed the Wolf King's defense. Taking this chance, he got close to the Wolf King and pressed its skull down to the ground, then he ruthlessly smashed it. It was a brutal scene. This Wolf King that was on the verge of becoming a 1,000 Beast King was beaten to death by Fang Yuan. Chapter 428 Sea of Ghostface Sunflowers. Chapter 428 Sea of Ghostface Sunflowers. With the death of the Wolf King, the wolf pack's morale collapsed and they all started fleeing in disorder. A fierce battle ended so abruptly. "You got injured." Zhe Yao came running and looked with a concerned gaze. "It's nothing." Fang Yuan's injuries looked terrifying, but it was all under his control. He activated self-reliance Gu on the spot. The wounds started closing and healing. Self-Reliance GU was a rank 3 GU but could only show the effects of a rank 2 in Northern Plains. After Fang Yuan's injuries healed a little, its effects immediately weakened. Warrior Chong Shan Yin, let me heal you. Zhe Yao waved her hand and water vapor rose, forming a green-blue cloud above Fang Yuan. Light rain started pouring down from the cloud and splashed upon Fang Yuan's body, healing his wounds. This is Spring Rain GU. Fang Yuan furrowed his brows. This GU has a huge healing range, isn't it a waste to use it on just me alone? Deactivate it. After saying so, he activated Golden Breeze GU. This GU was obtained from Time Ubai and was a rank 4 healing GU, but now it only showed the efficiency of a rank 3. However, it was still a top quality GU. Zhe Yao saw a golden whirlwind form beside Fang Yuan. After it spun around him several times, all his wounds disappeared. What GU is this? The girl asked curiously. Fang Yuan did not reply, but turned around and crouched down, searching the Wolf King's corpse carefully. Zhe Yao followed behind him and bent her back to look at him, exclaiming in praise, Warrior Chong Shan Yin, you are a true expert. Father has always told me that going into battle by just relying on one's cultivation is stupid. I saw you charging into the wolf pack, it was such a dangerous situation, but you moved skillfully like it was a simple task. I finally understood that what father said was true. Fang Yuan snorted and stood up. With his 500 years of battle experience, it was rather easy for him to do this. If not for the region's restriction, how could he take so much time to deal with this puny wolf pack? After searching, he found out that the Wolf King had 3 wild GU, but they were all dead. Fang Yuan's expression turned unsightly at the lack of loot. He glanced at Zhe Yao and said gruffly, stupid. Do you think you are just stupid? You are utterly stupid. Zhe Yao was immediately stifled. Hey, why are you so blunt? HMPH, earlier, your careless attack attracted most of the wolf pack and almost screwed up my control of the situation. Do you have the brains of an ox? Fang Yuan snorted and blamed. Zhe Yao knew that it was her mistake. Her aura immediately weakened and she lowered her head, looking at her feet. I know you attracted most of the wolf pack away for me. But I also wanted to help you. Fang Yuan heaved a sigh. Forget it, I will let it go this time. I will try to make an effort to teach you what you have to do too, so that you will not impede me again in the future. Who needs you to teach? Zhe Yao turned around and snorted with dissatisfaction. You need to be calm when activating Spiral Water Arrow GU. If you just recklessly shoot them, you would simply be wasting your precious primeval essence rapidly. Water Dragon GU wastes a lot of primeval essence, don't use it if it is not necessary. This is why you are always running out of primeval essence. Don't use Spring Rain GU, that is a large-scale healing GU that is not worth it for just the two of us. As they continued on their way, Fang Yuan gave many tips to Zhe Yao. The girl's words before were just said in a fit. Although, she did have a young missy's temperament, this was something that concerned her deeply, so she earnestly listened to the suggestions and absorbed the knowledge, improving rapidly. The two continued moving through poison grassland and ran into several waves of wolf packs, and Zhe Yao's performance also became better each time. Haha, are you afraid? You abominable poison-beard wolves, get lost. After repelling a poison-beard wolf pack again, Zhe Yao stood with her hands on her hips as she said proudly. Truly a naive girl. Fang Yuan looked at her back with a cold light flashing across his eyes. Naturally, the reason he guided Zhe Yao was not purely to raise her battle strength, more importantly it was to probe out her GU worms. The result was, the girl revealed all her trump cards to Fang Yuan. Zhe Yao was a Water Path GU master with rank 3 middle stage cultivation. Rank 3 Fog Sparrow GU is the investigative GU, 3 Claw Water Dragon GU and Spiral Water Arrow GU for attack, Water Armor GU for defense, Water Trace GU for movement, and Spring Rain GU for healing. She did not have a storage GU, the big stomach horse she used to replace this aspect had already died by Wolfpack's claws. Besides these, she also had Cleansing GU for detoxification, and Return Heart GU for discerning the direction. This set of GU worms was very appropriate given her identity. Fog Sparrow GU was a very precious investigative GU among rank 3 which could condense fog into sparrows that could fly to scout the area and had a very huge range. Her attack and defense GU were also of top quality. Water Trace GU's ability to raise the speed could almost rival some rank 4 GU. The only disadvantage was that the Water Trace would leave behind footprints that were easy to track. At the same time, it would make the shoes wet. This GU had the potential to be nurtured. At rank 4, it could become Wave Trace GU which had an even stronger effect. For rank 5, it had two different refinement directions. One was Wandering Wave Trace GU that had instant evasion properties, and another was the River Wave Trace GU that allowed the GU Master to run quickly on water surfaces. At rank 6, it would be the extremely famous Worldly Wave Trace GU. All of these GU were the best among rank 3. Along with Fang Yuan's meticulous guidance and the wolf pack's pressure, it was no wonder Zhe Yao was improving rapidly with her battle strength rising step by step. Warrior Chong Shanyin, you are a sage. Your guidance is much more amazing than my tribe's 3 top elders. Even if you don't take a fancy upon me, I want to invite you to be a guest of our Zhe tribe. If you are interested, I will do my best to persuade father to make you an external elder. Zhe Yao turned around and walked to Fang Yuan's side, and invited him with a sincere expression. She was after all the young missy of Zhe tribe, her foresight was extraordinary. She realized Fang Yuan's worth, not only his bravery, but more importantly his ability to educate others. This was the strength of wisdom. If he educated the tribe's next generation, the whole tribe could flourish. I can become a guest of Zhe tribe, but I don't have any interest in becoming an external elder. Fang Yuan walked forward while shaking his head to refuse. Zhe Yao persuaded him several times, but Fang Yuan's attitude was firm. The girl sulked and followed behind Fang Yuan, looking at his back with an angry gaze. Do you think you are amazing just because you can teach? HMPH. I used such an urging tone, yet you remain unmoved. No interest to become my Zhe tribe's external elder. Are you looking down on my Zhe tribe? Chong Shanyin, you scoundrel. Zhe Yao gritted her teeth in hatred while having a doubt in her mind. But this name Chong Shanyin, it is really familiar. Where in the world did I hear it? Poison grassland was covered with dark clouds all year round, and in this dusky light, the two walked for some distance. Fang Yuan stopped. In front of him was a large field of sunflowers. Each of these sunflowers had a dark purple stalk and large pitch-black petals. Its basin-sized stamen showed a pale human face. Ghost face sunflower. This sight caused Zhe Yao to immediately hold her breath and grab Fang Yuan's sleeve, whispering in a very soft voice. A lot of people definitely died here, with many ghosts wandering around. It led to the growth of so many ghost face sunflowers. Every ghost face sunflower is a ghost that died unjustly. Let's detour around this place. There are definitely many ghost cry GU living in these ghost face sunflowers, and there could even be ghost face GU. Ghost cry GU was a rank 3 soul path GU which could let out a mournful wail that could cause the soul to shake. Ghost face GU was a rank 4 soul path GU that could create a tremendous impact on the soul. It is such a large field of ghost face sunflowers. How long will we take to make a detour? Fang Yuan concentrated on this sea of sunflowers. He did not show any expression on the surface but was actually very happy inside. This confirmed the direction he was walking towards was not wrong. As long as he walked along this direction, he will find that battlefield 20 years ago and obtain the GU worms left behind on the battlefield. Northern Plains was different from Southern Border. Southern Border had lots of mountains and one could distinguish their general direction, while Northern Plains was grassland as far as the eye could see and was very easy to get lost. Thus, Zhe Yao carried Return Heart GU with her for support. Return Heart GU would always point towards the direction of the home in the GU Master's heart. However, Return Heart GU could only indicate the direction and not the position. If Fang Yuan wanted to ensure that he was moving in the correct path, he would have to take the risk of moving through this field of sunflowers. Fortunately, he was already prepared. He lightly removed the girl's hand on his sleeve and squatted down. He put his palms on the ground and then activated a GU in his aperture. Soon, green underbrush grew out from the ground. The lush underbrush rose little by little and the slender grass and leaves coiled around each other, gradually forming into a puppet. Enslavement Path, Rank 3 Grass Puppet GU. This GU worm was something only Southern Border had. Zhe Yao looked at each grassman puppet with astonishment. They continued to grow and soon formed a group. These grassman puppets were short and thin, the leaves tightly weaved together. They held a bamboo blade on one hand and a rattan shell shield in the other. This was the rank 3 rattan shell grass soldier. Previously when Fang Yuan had fought 1 against 7 at Sancha Mountain, Tai Ruonan had used such a GU. Later, Fang Yuan obtained a grass puppet GU in Three Kings Blessed Land from one of the people he killed. Grass puppet GU was rather common in Southern Border. Rank 3 grass puppet GU could create an army of rattan shell grass soldier that had the strength to kill rank 1 GU masters. Rank 4 grass puppet GU could create grass sword elite soldiers which possessed even stronger battle strength. However, at Northern Plains, the grass puppet GU also suffered from the restriction and the rattan shell grass soldiers it created were weak. However, Fang Yuan created these rattan shell grass soldiers not for battle and was indifferent about them. After a while, close to 1,000 rattan shell grass soldiers started clearing the way in front of him. Fang Yuan pulled Zhe Yao's hand and under the protection of another 100 rattan shell grass soldiers, they walked into the sea of ghost-face sunflowers. Yaa, me, d. Every ghost cry Gu let out a sharp screech, the rattan shell grass soldiers ahead collapsed. The voices the ghost cry Gu let out were not the same. Some were sharp frightened sounds, some were like the bleating of sheeps, and some seemed to be recounting hidden bitterness. Ghost faces are rising. The girl shook as she looked at the pale, terrifying ghost faces fly out from the sea of sunflowers. Fang Yuan gently patted her hand and then calmly organized the puppets. Soon, some rattan shell grass soldiers left the main group and sacrificed themselves to lure the ghost faces away. Chapter 429 Shadow Crow. Chapter 429, Shadow Crow. The two got through Sunflower Sea safely. Zhe Yao looked behind her, breathing out deeply, her worried heart finally settled. To think that we got past the sea of ghost-face sunflowers so easily. After regaining her composure, the young girl looked at the grassman puppets around her. There were only a few dozen puppets left, forming a weak defensive layer around them. Zhe Yao had never seen such a Gu in her life, this was an eye-opener. These Gu, although they do not have high combat strength, the greatest advantage is to use them as fodder. Chang Shanyin came prepared indeed. Thinking so, the young girl diverted her gaze towards the person beside her. The more she spent time with Fang Yuan, the more curious Zhe Yao got, and the greater her determination to find out more about him. What sort of person is he? Entering poison grassland, what motive does he have? Chang Shanyin, this name is so familiar, I've heard it before. Ah. The young girl's face turned red. When they had crossed the sunflower sea earlier, Fang Yuan held her hand. Those ghost cries and scary ghost faces made her frightened. She got closer to Fang Yuan and was almost hugging his arm, but she did not notice. Zhe Yao quickly let go of Fang Yuan's arm, getting free of his hand. After she got to a safe distance, Fang Yuan slowly stopped his steps, turning to look at these sunflowers. These ghost cry Gu and ghost face Gu are decent Gu, but I do not have the specialized Gu worms needed to catch them. Catching a wild Gu worm requires specific methods. These two Gu worms were soul path Gu, the Gu needed to catch them were even more peculiar. It is time. Fang Yuan's gaze concentrated, discarding his mild regret as he turned his gaze towards fixed immortal travel Gu on his shoulder. Immortal Gu have overbearing aura, they could not be stored into mortal apertures. Spring-autumn cicada could barely be kept in the aperture due to its weakened state. Even if Fang Yuan ordered fixed immortal travel Gu to stay on his shoulders and not move about, the immortal Gu's aura would still leak. If a Gu immortal senses it, it would invite grave danger. But thankfully, Fang Yuan had measures against this. He took out bright pearl Gu. Go. He injected his primeval essence, and the bright pearl Gu turned into a warm white light, floating onto fixed immortal travel's body, covering it completely. Bright Pearl Gu is a rank 4 storage type Gu, mainly used to seal Gu worms and cause them to go into deep slumber and be easily stored. Fang Yuan expended almost all his primeval essence before he successfully sealed the fixed immortal travel Gu. Fixed immortal travel Gu was like a jade butterfly, sealed into a fist-sized pearl. But it was an immortal Gu, its aura still leaked out through the pearl. Except, it was much weaker now. Fang Yuan was not surprised, this was only step 1. The following journey was much smoother. Perhaps due to that sunflower sea, not a single poison beard wolf appeared. The two continued to venture deeper, as the poisonous fog on the grassland became thicker, until one could clearly see the purple fog in the air. When the two started coughly, they would stop moving and take out their Gu worms respectively, getting rid of the toxins that accumulated in them. The deeper they went into the grassland, the thicker the fog, and the more often the two of them stopped. Zhe Yao, who was active and lively, also started keeping quiet in order to avoid breathing in too much of the poison fog. Eventually, the purple fog started to obscure their vision. How much deeper are we going? Zhe Yao could not help but ask. The deepest part of the poison grassland was a forbidden area for living beings. The deeper they go, the stronger the wild beasts inside. Many experts who went to explore lost their lives here, none returned. Among them were rank 3 peak stage experts, and even rank 4. Soon, Fang Yuan replied plainly as he walked slower, until he stopped. Are we there? It's here, Zhe Yao asked happily. Fang Yuan did not say a word, he squatted down and moved away some poisonous shrubs that had a weird appearance, as a hole that was hidden by the bushes appeared before him. This hole was the size of a large bowl, it has a smooth edge. Inside the hole was pure darkness. Zhe Yao saw this and her eyes were fixed on the hole, breathing roughly. This is a hole dug by a earth spike rat. They live together in thousands and even 10,000s, forming into a huge group. They live under the grass inside the soil, as long as there are vibrations in the ground, they would attack from below. Their heads are like steel spikes, once they shoot out, it can pierce a person's feet. Even a horse's hoofs can get pierced. We cannot go forward anymore. Once we get encircled, there will be no way to survive. We will be submerged by endless rats. Along the way, we met no poison-beard wolves, this shows that the earth spike rats are the lord of this area. Who knows, the earth spike rat king might be a myriad beast king. The young girl had lived in the grasslands since young, she knew clearly how powerful the earth spike rats were. No, my destination is further ahead. Fang Yuan stood up. Chong Shan Yin, excessive bravery is courting death. You cannot walk over this. In fact, in just a few steps, you will get attacked by the rats. Zhe Yao quickly explained. But Fang Yuan smiled lightly. Who said I am going to walk over? Just as he said so, pitch-black wings grew on his back. Zhe Yao stared with wide-opened eyes. Before she reacted, Fang Yuan already carried her up. As the girl screamed, Fang Yuan flapped his wings and flew above the ground. Zhe Yao felt like her heart was stuck in her throat, the wind was blowing at her ears as she felt herself on swimming in clouds, her legs could not touch the ground, thus she subconsciously grabbed Fang Yuan's neck. After a while, the young girl reacted, and laughed heartily in Fang Yuan's arms. Chong Shan Yin, to think that you can fly. Father has a flying cloud Gu, he used to bring me to play in the sky when I was young. Sigh, sadly flying cloud Gu is a rank 4 Gu, I cannot use it. But even if I could, Father would not allow it, he would be afraid of me falling from the sky. Zhe Yao recalled, before asking curiously, Chong Shan Yin, what flying Gu is this? Why have I not seen it before? Fang Yuan did not answer. The young girl did not give up. This is the rank 3 eagle wings Gu. Such speed and altitude is similar to eagle wings Gu, but this does not look like it. Fang Yuan sighed. You ask too many questions. Rather than asking me useless questions, why don't you spend your effort on the shadow crows ahead of us? Shadow crow, the young girl reacted, seeing 3 shadow crows in front flying towards them soundlessly. The shadow crows were large as an eagle, their bodies were black and they moved without sound. In this foggy poison grassland, they were even more stealthy. The young girl's expression paled, her voice trembling. Chong Shan Yin, how good is your flying technique? If you are not good, let's land and defend on the grassland. No worries. Fang Yuan's voice was emotionless. I'm carrying you, I cannot attack. Next, it will depend on whether your spiral water arrow is accurate. What? Ah, the young girl had not understood what he said, when Fang Yuan flapped his wings fiercely and charged towards the 3 shadow crows. Fang Yuan used his actions to reply Zhe Yao. This is too insane. He did not think of running away, but instead wants to kill these 3 shadow crows. Zhe Yao was shocked, in her panic, she shot out 2 water arrows. But these 2 water arrows, one missed completely while the other grazed the shadow crow's wing. Too slow, again, Fang Yuan made a perfect turn as he flapped his wings towards the shadow crows again. What? Hey, wait, don't fight them. We are not on the ground, our opponents are the shadow crows famous for speed. Zhe Yao shouted. The 2 humans and 3 birds charged towards each other in the air, as they got closer and closer. Zhe Yao could see a shadow crow enlarging quickly in her vision. As they got close, the shadow crow brandished its dagger-like sharp claws. Seeing that the sharp claw was about to hit her, Zhe Yao's body turned cold from fright, her fingers and legs were stiff as she was immobilized. We're going to collide, I am going to die. Just as she had this thought, Fang Yuan kept his wings and they descended quickly, narrowly avoiding the shadow crow's claw. Next, he stretched out his wings and flapped hard, making a zigzag turn, flying up and chasing behind the shadow crow. Fire quickly, Fang Yuan shouted. Zhe Yao's body reacted to his voice and subconsciously shot out a spiral water arrow. Fang Yuan's flying technique was too profound, he directly flew behind the shadow crow, its back was completely exposed to Zhe Yao. The spiral water arrow shot the shadow crow, piercing its body and causing a trail of blood. The shadow crow was killed on the spot. Like a kite with its strings cut, it fell onto the ground with a loud thump. The grassland was silent for a moment before the ground vibrated, as numerous earth spike rats popped up from underground. That shadow crow corpse was immediately dismembered and dragged into the holes made on the ground piece by piece. The large shadow crow vanished in an instant, leaving behind a pool of blood, as well as some small pieces of intestines. The young girl became overwhelmingly nervous after seeing this. If she really fell, she would immediately get attacked by the earth spike rats, she would definitely die. What are you thinking? Shoot them, Fang Yuan chided, interrupting the girl's thoughts as she hurriedly attacked, shooting over 10 arrows before killing the 2 shadow crows. The 2 shadow crows landed on the ground and were immediately taken by the earth spike rats. Zhe Yao looked at this as cold sweat appeared on her face. Your accuracy is terrible, quickly use primeval stones to recover your primeval essence. As Fang Yuan scolded, Zhe Yao took out 1 primeval stones, but because she was flustering, this primeval stones fell out of her hand and landed on the ground. You idiot, so sorry, the young girl apologized in a sobbing tone. Focus, calm down, display your usual ability, there will be many shadow crows later, I have to depend on you. Fang Yuan's voice became more gentle. Yes, yes, Zhe Yao nodded her head in succession. After Fang Yuan consoled her, her mind slowly returned to a calm state. Chapter 430 White Bone Chariot. Chapter 430, White Bone Chariot. An entire hour later, Fang Yuan carried Zhe Yao as they safely landed on the ground. Zhe Yao's legs went soft, her expression was pale and she had to catch her breath after getting back to the land, recovering slowly. During the flying process, she had killed at least 100 shadow crows, she had felt that she was struggling at death's door during the process. During the process of flying, they were in great danger, facing the assault of many waves of shadow crows, and even attracted the attack of the earth spike rats. Not only were there an endless number of shadow crows in the sky, numerous earth spikes would shoot up from the ground at times, it was a truly precarious situation. Fang Yuan spread his wings, twisted and turned, circled, dived, and rose into the sky under such attacks. Finding impossible opportunities, he managed to find a way out of the rain of attacks. I actually survived from facing such an insane number of enemies. This was Zhe Yao's first thought when she landed. The relief of surviving an ordeal, an unbelievable feeling of happiness, and the after-fear of recalling the situation. After she had experienced all these, Zhe Yao looked at Fang Yuan with a complicated expression, as he was healing the injuries on his body. Even if the girl was ignorant, after such an experience, she knew that Fang Yuan was a grand expert in flying. Moreover, Zhe Yao was not an ordinary young girl from the grassland, her father was the leader of a tribe. In her entire life, she had been greatly influenced by him, her horizons were expanded and she knew much more than her peers. The man before me, he has such skilled flying techniques, he is so strong. Inside that strong body of his, is there a flying eagle's soul? Such flying technique can compete with lightning, Dong Po Kong, water immortal, Song Qing Yin, and green bat, Wu Yi. This is a first-rate flying technique in northern plains. Chong Shan Yin, what kind of person are you? Fang Yuan quickly took care of his injuries. Facing a storm-like attack, even if his flying technique was top tier, he could not avoid getting hit sometimes. Most importantly, the rank 4 Bone Wings GU only had rank 3 effectiveness in northern plains. At the same time, he was carrying a person, with the increase in weight, it affected his agility. But, having Zhe Yao's help, the advantage was greater than the disadvantage. If she did not use water arrow and water dragon to kill the crow groups, or if she did not use water armor to defend us, my primeval essence might not be enough. Fang Yuan thought. As a southern border GU master, when I am in northern plains, my cultivation will be suppressed, but thankfully, as time passes and I slowly assimilate into northern plains, this suppression will decrease. Man is the spirit of all beings, they had great adaptability with the environment they were in. Of course, when Fang Yuan completely mixes in with northern border, and his cultivation returns to normal, when he returns to southern border, he will face suppression again, and would need to adapt and assimilate once again. Man can adapt to the environment, but GU worms cannot. Southern border GU worms will continue to face suppression, all my GU worms still expend the same amount of primeval essence but their use is greatly reduced. Rank 4 GU worms in southern border are inferior to rank 3 northern plains GU worms here. But if he killed Zhe Yao, he only had a very small chance of getting her GU worms. Only by using her like this, can this rank 3 middle stage GU master's worth be fully displayed. If not for Zhe Yao, I would not be able to advance so quickly. Although her GU worms are good, I have no way of taking them. These southern border GU worms, I need to change them out. Other than considering their battle strength, they are also the greatest flaw in hiding my identity. I have to get to that battlefield. Fang Yuan sighed internally, taking out Bright Pearl GU. Fixed Immortal Travel GU is sealed inside Bright Pearl GU, like a beautiful amber. In front of Zhe Yao, Fang Yuan took out Bright Pearl GU forthrightly. Dusty GU was like a cocoon, its body was dark gray, and felt like sandpaper. Fang Yuan injected primeval essence, and Dusty GU exploded lightly, turning into a gray smoke cloud. The gray smoke moved towards Bright Pearl GU as if it was sentient. The originally shining Bright Pearl GU was covered by this dust cover, and dimmed. The fixed Immortal Travel GU's aura diminished once again. This became a dusty pearl. In Fang Yuan's previous life, when he got to Central Continent and caused the 5-region chaotic battle, some GU masters slipped into other regions to battle, and in order to hide their identities and conceal their aura, they created this method. What are you doing? Zhe Yao asked curiously. Fang Yuan did not answer her. He kept the dimmed pearl into his pocket and continued on his journey. The two continued to advance. As the poison fog in the air became thicker, the thick purple color fog started to affect their vision. The two had to stop more frequently, using GU worms to eliminate the poison in them. Crack! A crisp sound came from the below their feet, like they had stepped on some twigs. Zhe Yao directed her gaze over in suspicion, before screaming and jumping back like a rabbit. "Why is there a human skull here?" she said with a trembling voice. "Because this is a battlefield." Fang Yuan walked ahead of her, not turning back but instead walking even faster. "Battlefield. Hey, wait for me, don't go so fast." Zhe Yao quickly followed after Fang Yuan. The more she walked, the more shocked she was. Before, the thick purple fog was covering her vision, but now that she got close, she could see many skeletons on the rotting grassland, skeletons of both humans and wolves. There were deep pits and trenches in the ground. Evidently, a fierce battle had taken place here. So many people died, who engaged in such a brawl here? But the trenches and pits have already been outgrown by poisonous grass. Looking at the other traces, this battle took place at least 20 years ago. Zhe Yao was behind Fang Yuan, seeing him search continuously, like he was trying to find something. She understood. So Chang Shanyan's purpose for entering this poison grassland is this battlefield. What is he looking for? Wait, 20 years ago, in the poison grassland, there was indeed a huge battle. Father had spoken with someone about this. I was beside him at that time. A memory surfaced deep in Zhe Yao's mind. Back then, Zhe Yao was still young. She was only 4 or 5 years old. Her father invited an esteemed guest, and brought her along with him. In the tent, the adults were talking about the heroes in the grassland. Speaking of which, Chang tribe has an amazing person. You mean the Wolf King? That's right, this person is an enslavement path GU master heavily nurtured by Chang tribe. He moved like the wind and attacked like the rain. He could alter his battle formations as he wished. He has great abilities. Most importantly, he is a righteous figure. He is extremely filial to his mother. This time, because his mother was poisoned by a unique poison, it can only be cured by the snow-washed GU inside the spirea. He ignored all opposition and ventured into poison grassland alone. Sigh, that is exactly why Wolf King died. Yes, this matter was a huge scheme from start to end. Wolf King's enemy Ha-Tu GU planned this. Ha-Tu GU wanted to kill Wolf King, but he was not to be trifled with, killing all of the bandits with Ha-Tu GU and eliminated a huge pest for the grassland. But it is a pity for this hero, Wolf King Chang Shanyan. He lost his life at poison grassland. Chang Shanyan, you are Wolf King Chang Shanyan. Thinking of this, Zhe Yao opened her mouth, staring at Fang Yuan fixatedly. Oh, you know about Chang Shanyan too? Fang Yuan replied lightly as he continued searching. But Zhe Yao quickly shook her head. No, no way. Looking at his age, by now, if Chang Shanyan is alive, he should be at least 40 years old. How can he be as young as you? Furthermore, your appearance and accent are completely different. You are not Chang Shanyan. He, if I am not Chang Shanyan, who am I? Oh right, who are you? Why are you impersonating a dead GU master? Zhe Yao's mind was full of questions. Suddenly, her eyes brightened up. Wait. Although after Chang Shanyan died, his mother also died of poison. But he was already married and had kids. His son is already grown up, and is quite a talented person. Don't tell me you are Chang Shanyan's son. Fang Yuan laughed. Just as he was about to answer, he heard a strange sound near his ears. This sound was like old wheels rolling on the ground. Following this sound, a large white bone wheel appeared in the purple fog. It was as tall as 2 men, 1.5 meters in width, its body was made of white bones. On the surface of the carriage, sharp bone spikes were protruding out. At the spoke of the wheel, there was a large skull. The skull's horrific eye sockets were burning with blood-red flames. Careful, this is Ha Tu Gu's rank 5 GU, Battle Bone Wheel. Fang Yuan had just warned, when the wheel accelerated, crushing over with an imposing aura. Golden Dragon GU. Fang Yuan pushed with his hand, and the dragon roared, smashing on the wheel. The wheel vibrated, easily smashing the golden dragon to bits and continued to attack Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan quickly spread his bone wings and flew into the sky. But the wheel also lifted off from the ground, flying into the air. Golden Coat GU. Fang Yuan knew he could not dodge and decided to face it head-on. Bam! He was sent flying, landing on the ground, causing his body to be covered in rotten grass. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. 3 spiral water arrows shot the wheel consecutively. The white bone wheel landed on the ground, causing mud to splash. It gave up on Fang Yuan, turning its target to Zhe Yao, rolling over. Zhe Yao quickly activated the water trace GU, summoning her water armor and dodging while attacking back. Fang Yuan also arrived quickly and started to assist her. This was a tough fight. The opponent was a rank 5 GU, it was Ha Tu Gu's core GU. After Ha Tu GU died, it became a wild GU, and ate white bones as food. White Bone Wheel's attack was fierce, it often crushed its opponents into meat paste. Fang Yuan was suppressed, and his battle strength was lowered. He also did not bring a rank 5 GU, he could not face the White Bone Wheel directly. His original plan was to avoid the White Bone Wheel and find Chang Shanyan's corpse. But with Zhe Yao to assist him, he changed his plans and decided to battle. After fighting for 4 hours, using the kiting tactic devised by Fang Yuan, the two bullied the White Bone Wheel's lack of intelligence, taking breaks in turns and eventually caused the White Bone Wheel to fall over. Once the battle was decided, Fang Yuan placed both hands on the White Bone Wheel, sending his will and primeval essence into it. White Bone Wheel was a rank 5 GU, even if he had the rank 6 Spring Autumn Cicada and fixed Immortal Travel GU, they could not help him to instantly refine it. But the wheel was full of cracks, it was almost going to break apart, it was a step away from being destroyed. With Fang Yuan's 100-man soul, he had ample mental energy, and with his firm will, he continuously injected primeval essence into it. After spending 15 minutes, he finally subdued it. Rank 5 GU obtained. Chapter 431 Chang Shanyan's Death. Chapter 431, Chang Shanyan's Death. Fang Yuan's mind entered his aperture. After the White Bone Wheel entered his aperture, it floated along the waves of his true gold primeval sea, half sinking and half floating, showing a lifeless appearance. GU worms naturally get hurt, damaged, or even die. This White Bone Wheel is already on the verge of destruction and can no longer be used, unless I can find the Bone Bamboo GU and combine it with the Ghost Fire GU to repair it. Fang Yuan thought in his heart. There are many healing GU which are not intended for human bodies. Some GU, such as Wolf Smoke GU, are specifically used to treat the injuries of wolves, while other GU, like Pig Iron GU, are used to treat Chainsaw Golden Centipede. Bone Bamboo GU, combined with Ghost Fire GU, can repair the damage of the White Bone Wheel, so that it can function again. Speaking of the Battle Bone Wheel GU, it's actually quite famous, since it was used by the rank 8 demonic GU Immortal Shen Jiao. He was also known as the Proud Bone Demon Lord. His talent was outstanding and shocking. When he became a rank 6 GU Immortal, he lacked a rank 6 GU. He came up with a killer move known as White Bone Chariot. The White Bone Chariot consisted of many rank 5 GU, such as the White Bone Wheel, and had power comparable to a rank 6 GU. By the virtue of his ingenuity, Shen Jiao reached rank 8 realm, and made his killer move, White Bone Battlefield, famous in the world. It was a killer move that combined 3 Immortal Gu's power, it was even more powerful than before. He used this to dominate the world, killing an uncountable number of GU Immortals. His fierce name spread wide as he caused the righteous path to be helpless. Sigh, when can I reach such a stage? In his past life, Fang Yuan lived for about 500 years, and became a rank 6 GU Immortal, one step away from rank 7. When he later refined the Spring Autumn Cicada, he was attacked by the righteous path and consequently self-detonated. Every time he thought about Blood Sea Ancestor, Proud Bone Demon Lord, Soul Spectre Demon Venerable, all of them were amazing characters. Fang Yuan could not help but be impressed. As a man living in present age, I should be like this, unrestrained by the mortal realm, doing things without worry, killing whoever I dislike. When my heart is evil, I slaughter all beings, and when I am virtuous, I bless the world. The world moves according to my emotions, I dominate everything, any enemy who resists me are trampled underfoot. Oh, this is a true freedom, a cheerful and carefree life. Fang Yuan let out a heartfelt sigh and took out a bright pearl GU from his pocket. Bright pearl GU was already dusty, its light was dim. Sealed inside was fixed immortal travel, the aura of the immortal GU was also fading. Fang Yuan took out the dark toss GU. This GU and dusty GU looked almost the same, a silkworm cocoon-like shape, except it was deep black in color. Fang Yuan transferred his primeval essence, the black silkworm cocoon wiggled up, 10 tendrils twisted out, twisting like snakes, and climbed on the bright pearl GU. In just a short moment, the bright pearl GU was enveloped by a black silkworm cocoon. This was known as tossing pearls in the dark. It was developed during the Battle of the Five Regions to completely conceal the aura of GU worms. Because of this, fixed immortal travel's aura was even fainter now. Warrior Chang Shanyin, you are trying to seal this beautiful jade butterfly. Zhe Yao stood to the side and gradually understood Fang Yuan's intention. Fang Yuan gave her a mysterious smile and kept the dark pearl into his pocket and continued to be buried in his research of the battlefield. This battlefield was created 20 years ago, after the battle between Chang Shanyin and Ha Tu Jiyu. Chang Shanyin was a rank 4 peak stage GU master, while Ha Tu Jiyu was already a rank 5 initial stage GU master who also lead a large band of subordinates. The two were originally childhood friends, but they fell in love with the same woman. The woman ultimately chose Chang Shanyin, and from then on Ha Tu Jiyu became filled with a jealous rage. This led to an unceasing hostility growing between the two of them, a hatred that could only be washed away with the blood of the other. After Ha Tu Jiyu poisoned Chang Shanyin's mother, in order to find the snow-washed Jiyu, he led the wolf packs deep into the poisonous plains. When he reached the plains, Chang Shanyin set up an ambush there. When Ha Tu Jiyu brought his gang of bandits and came, as large groups of wolves attacked from all directions. This was a bitter fight to the death, until the sun went down. Eventually, the wolves were all killed, along with all the horse bandits, who were either killed or fled. Chang Shanyin was at his limits, and Ha Tu Gu's primeval essence was exhausted. The two resorted to fighting with their bare hands. Both men fought till their eyes turned red and made use of everything in their surroundings to gain the advantage. They wrestled together, biting with their teeth, clawing with their hands, until they finally expended all their strength, and collapsed to the ground, with barely enough strength to breathe. The life and death enemies, once incomparably close friends, were only 2 or 3 steps away from each other, but all they could do was gasp for air and stare at each other. They were powerful GU masters, one a righteous hero, the other a demonic devil, yet both had lost their strength. At this moment, both were as fragile as a child. If a rabbit came running and blocked their face, they would suffocate to death. They were at a deadlock, when suddenly Ha Tu Jiyu suddenly burst into a hearty laugh. He was, after all, a rank 5 GU master, and his primeval essence recovery rate was quicker compared to Chang Shanyin's. His primeval essence recovered first, enough for him to cast a poisonous bone spear. Seeing the bone spear being shot towards him, Chang Shanyin's eyes widened, as a miracle burst of strength emerged in him. Using all his strength, he managed to turn half his body, but the poisonous bone spear, which had been aimed at his head, still pierced his chest. The intensity of the pain made Chang Shanyin roar, but by relying on the wolf strength GU to increase his strength, he managed to break the bone spear and clutched it tightly in his hand. Slowly, he dragged his body towards Ha Tu Gu's side. In the end, Chang Shanyin took the poisonous bone spear and stabbed it into the eyes of Ha Tu Jiyu, ending the life of his mortal enemy. Although Chang Shanyin had won, the poison of the bone spear had already spread throughout his whole body. By utilizing all the primeval essence that he had just recovered, he activated the wolf fetus burial GU. This GU utilized 108 different species of pregnant female wolves, and its specialty was to save a life. If long as they had one breath left, the user could be saved. Chang Shanyin used the GU, drilled into the ground, and fell asleep. About 30 years later, a rank 3 GU master, Ma Hongyun, was chased to the battlefield by a pack of wolves. In his desperation, he coincidentally managed to find the buried Chang Shanyin. After Ma Hongyun saved Chang Shanyin, the latter not only helped him repel the wolves, but also helped him become one of the 4 great generals. In the future struggle for power in the grassland, Chang Shanyin contributed countless merits, and Ma Hongyun, who was born as a slave, became the lord of the imperial court. Chang Shanyin experienced both ups and downs of life. His tale was quite legendary. His story spread widely throughout the north, it was no secret. Later, with the aid of Ma Hongyun, he became a rank 7 GU Immortal, receiving the title of Sky Wolf General, gaining even greater authority. Ultimately, while resisting the invasion of the central continent, he died in battle, and his descendants passed down his biography. This is also why Fang Yuan was so knowledgeable about his history. I found it. His long search had finally come to an end. Fang Yuan stepped forward and found a huge wolf tail on the grass. The wolf tail, covered with mud, was covered by poisonous grass and could hardly be seen. If it wasn't for Fang Yuan's persistence and careful search, it would have been impossible to find. Originally, while Ma Hongyun was escaping, he tripped on this wolf tail. When he pulled on the wolf tail, he saved not only Chang Shanyin, but also himself. Fang Yuan was feeling overwhelmed by emotions, he grabbed the wolf tail and forcibly pulled it out. Suddenly, the land writhed, and a huge female wolf's body appeared out of the ground. Its eyes were closed, the whole body covered in purple fur, with a white belly. It was humongous. Even while it was lying down, it was taller than a person. Zhe Yao hurriedly ran over, her face flushed with surprise. What wolf is this? Why is it so big? Ah, it looks like a female wolf. Look at its belly, it must be pregnant. It's not a wolf, it's a GU. Fang Yuan said, taking out a sharp knife from moving perspective cup GU. He sliced open the belly of the wolf, causing a long gash to appear. Immediately, the wolf's bulging belly was torn open, and a large amount of amniotic fluid, mixed with blood, spewed all over the ground. The lower part of Fang Yuan's body was soaked. Zhe Yao saw what was happening, and hurriedly jumped out of the way to avoid becoming a victim of the filth. She then widened her mouth in surprise, crying out, "Why is there a man inside the wolf's womb?" As the amniotic fluid continued to flow out, a person also came out. It was the true Chang Shanyin. His eyes were closed, and his body was full of injuries, especially the part with the half-bone spear sticking out. He was covered in thick amniotic fluids, his expression showing great pain, and his skin was green. Fang Yuan quickly squatted down and extended his hands. It looked like he was observing the injuries of Chang Shanyin, but in fact, he secretly pinched the neck of Chang Shanyin. Poor Chang Shanyin, a hero who succeeded in killing his enemy, and lived for another 20 years using his GU worm. After another 10 years or so, his fated lord appeared and saved him. But now that Fang Yuan had stepped in, the future of this man, the famous Sky Wolf General, and the future rank 7 GU Immortal was killed. Chang Shanyin died while he was unconscious, unable to resist, letting out only a faint breath. When Fang Yuan killed him, his body did not even tremble. Needless to say, since he was unconscious, he could not self-detonate his GU worms. Fang Yuan's mind entered his aperture and immediately found several tortoise breath GU inside. Tortoise breath GU was a storage GU, like the bright pearl GU, it was used to seal GU worms. Before Chang Shanyin entered the belly of the wolf, to prevent his GU worms from starving to death, he sealed his GU worms one by one in the tortoise breath GU. They were rank 4 GU, shaped like oval stones, and were slightly larger in size than a fist. The surface of the stones was covered with markings, similar to that of a tortoise shell. By leaking the aura of the spring-autumn cicada, Fang Yuan instantly refined these tortoise breath GU. He took all the tortoises out, and under the watchful eyes of Zhe Yao, he crushed them all one by one to reveal the GU inside. There were a total of 8 GU from the enslavement path, all of which were precious rank 4 GU worms. Some of them were even more precious than ordinary rank 5 GU. Chang Shanyin meticulously arranged this collection, and with this set of GU, he made a reputation for himself in northern plains. Using this set of GU, he killed rank 5 GU masters before. And with the help of spring-autumn cicada, all of them became Fang Yuan's possession. And now, I finally have an excellent set of rank 4 GU from northern plains. The corner of his mouth curled into a faint smile. Chapter 432 Human Skin GU. Chapter 432, Human Skin GU. But merely retrieving the GU worms was not the whole purpose of Fang Yuan's journey. After placing all of the GU worms into his aperture, he turned his attention to Chang Shanyin's corpse. He started using GU worms, helping the body to detoxify. Isn't he already dead? Zhe Yao asked by his side, looking confused. Detoxifying a living person made sense, but what was the point of detoxifying a corpse? Fang Yuan did not bother turning to answer her, but told her, "Stop looking, use your cleansing GU and help." Fang Yuan and Zhe Yao worked in turns. Gradually, Sheng Chanyin's corpse was losing its toxicity. Don't tell me is he Chong Shanyin? He's your father. Zhe Yao had a sudden realization, and sent a look of inquiry towards Fang Yuan. No, Chong Shanyin's son is a native of Northern Plains. Looking at your appearance, you're obviously a foreigner. Fang Yuan let out a cold grunt, saying expressionlessly, I told you, I am Chong Shanyin. As the toxins in his body were purged, the surface of Chong Shanyin's skin gradually returned to its natural complexion, losing the wretched green color that came as a result of the poison. Fang Yuan, upon seeing that the cleansing was almost complete, asked the girl to step back. He stripped Chong Shanyin of his clothes, and rinsed them with water. You want to bring his body back? Zhe Yao surmised. However, Fang Yuan's following actions immediately overturned her conjecture. She saw Fang Yuan retrieve a regiment of black ants from his aperture. Fang Yuan injected his primeval essence, and the black ants immediately rushed towards Chong Shanyin's pale and naked corpse and began to consume it. The black ants crawled all over Chong Shanyin, swallowing all of his skin into their stomach, turning the corpse into a mess of fleshy tendons, and leaving the body beyond recognition. Zhe Yao saw what was happening, and resisted the urge to vomit. Fang Yuan collected the ants once they were done, took out a seed, and planted it into the ground. As he poured his primeval essence, the seed began to grow at a visible rate, rooting, germinating, and blooming into a beautiful flower. The flower was in full bloom, yet it was quite strange in that it appeared as if it was covered in a membrane of skin, like the inner flesh of a mouth. The inner petals also had a row of tiny jagged sawtooth. The black ants converged into a group, climbing up the flower, and entered the core of the flower. The flower then closed again, its jagged teeth whirling wildly. As the teeth rubbed against each other, it made a humming sound, and made the whole flower tremble. Fang Yuan took out another Jiyu worm, which Zhe Yao failed to recognize. The Jiyu turned into a multicolored blaze, and attached itself to the top of the flower. The flower twisted wildly while it burned in the flame, giving off a sharp shriek. The shriek of the flower was so sharp that it forced Zhe Yao to cover her ears and move backwards several more steps. At this point, the girl realized that something was amiss. This strange method reeked of the demonic path. Zhe Yao's complexion paled, and when she looked at Fang Yuan, she saw that his face had not changed. Standing on the spot, both his eyes were shining as he paid attention to the flower. Open! Suddenly, both of Fang Yuan's eyes emitted an explosion of light as he shouted loudly. The corolla of the flower opened up a small slit, allowing the multicolored flame to enter. Afterwards, the whole flower suddenly exploded and a Jiyu worm flew out. The Jiyu worm had a multicolored tint, constantly transforming, occasionally yellow-green, and occasionally blood-violet. Like a smoky fog that was rising upwards. Human skin Jiyu, the refinement has finally been completed. Fang Yuan, upon seeing it, let out a sigh of relief. Next, he willed, retrieving an old removal Jiyu from his aperture, as it turned into a cooling breeze. The breeze flew out of the aperture, flowing all over Fang Yuan's body, permeating his skin, tendons, and bones. Fang Yuan had originally used 3 Jiyu, ancient bronze skin, essence iron bones, and golden steel tendons, to modify his body, and now it was all washed away. Then, from the moving perspective cup Jiyu, he took out a sharp dagger. The following scene is going to be a bit bloody, you should close your eyes. With his hand clutching the dagger, he gave his warning to Zhe Yao. Zhe Yao hurriedly took a breath, looking at Fang Yuan in confusion, unable to speak a word. Then at the next moment, the girl's pupils shrank, both of her hands covered her mouth, unable to suppress her alarmed yelp. Under her horrified gaze, Fang Yuan pointed the dagger to his chest and softly sliced it. Swish, he had cut from himself from the neck down to his abdomen. Yet strangely enough, his blood did not flow out, he had prepared a staunch bleeding Jiyu in advance. After that, Fang Yuan expressionlessly slit the dagger along the middle of his body, then he stretched out his hand and ripped the skin off of his chest. The girl, upon seeing this horrifically violent scene, could not help but repeatedly step backwards again, her entire face had turned pale like paper. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth to endure the pain, and under the urging of his mind, the colorful smoke that was floating in midair covered his whole chest. Sizzle! In the midst of the strange sound, Fang Yuan's bare and bloody chest was covered by a new layer of skin. The peculiarity of it was, although the skin had just grown, it did not have the expected baby-like tenderness, instead it had the pale solidity of old skin. Then, Fang Yuan repeated the process, peeling the skin of his arms and his legs, completely removing them, to grow a new layer of skin. This, don't tell me, Zhe Yao could gradually see what was happening, and was flabbergasted. When he was peeling the skin of his back, Fang Yuan was somewhat troubled, but under his strenuous effort, he managed to succeed. Eventually, it was time for the most critical part, the face. Fang Yuan stopped for a moment, taking a quick rest, then, lifting up his dagger, he aimed at the tip at his eyelid. Zhe Yao watched with her whole body trembling, yet Fang Yuan's hands were steady like they were cast iron, each of his actions were precise and minute. He first cut his eyelids off, followed by his eye sockets, the knife tip curved out and reached his ear, and moved from his cheek to his chin. Turning around at his chin, he did the same to the other side, and ended up completing a circle. Next, Zhe Yao saw Fang Yuan removing his own face, her heart pounded furiously, and her legs felt weak. The colorful smoke then flew over again, and grew a new layer of skin. Subsequently, Fang Yuan did the same to the skin on his neck, ears, and scalp. When he turned his face to look at Zhe Yao, he had already changed into a new person, sporting the appearance of Chongshan Yin. "I told you, I am Chongshan Yin," he said in a bland tone. Zhe Yao looked at Fang Yuan in disbelief. He had actually spoken in a perfect Northern Plains accent. Of course Fang Yuan could speak in the Northern accent, he just chose not to earlier. You, her finger was pointed at Fang Yuan, her body trembled violently, her face had turned pale, and her expression was filled with horror. Fang Yuan laughed in disdain internally. The human body is merely a sack of flesh, I was just changing the sack, what was the point of making such a fuss? The so-called beauty and ugly are superficially and weak things. If this is Earth, people have no powers and the immortal path is cut, then so be it. But in this world, only eternal life is worth pursuing. This human skin GU, hundred of years later, it would be developed by GU masters during the 5-region chaotic battle. It could be used by GU masters to cleverly disguise themselves as another person, with their face being identical. Many of Central Continent's GU masters, using human skin GU, were able to penetrate deep into enemy headquarters. Allowing for secret assassinations and mass destruction, it had greatly augmented the military power of the Central Continent, making the 4 other regions panic and doubt each other. Not paying any attention to the pretty lady who was scared out of her wits, Fang Yuan stood where he was and brought his hands to eye level to observe them. By now, his hands had completely changed. His fingerprints and palm prints were exactly the same as Chongshan Yin's. Next, he felt his chest. His chest was originally smooth and flat, but now it sported chest hair that extended downwards from his throat to his crotch. He felt his own nose, a northern man's stiff nose, then he felt his rough cheeks. He took out a mirror and observed his features. His face had already become that of Chongshan Yin, going to the extent that he had begun to grow hair in the same style. Even the gray hair that came with old age were completely replicated. Human skin GU, it referred to the fact that human skin was the main ingredient of the GU worm. In addition, the transformation was a complete transformation. Not just skin, but hair, eye color, the shape of his bones, and even old injuries were completely replicated. Zhe Yao looked at Fang Yuan, it felt like a dead man had just resurrected. "You, who the hell are you?" She stared at Fang Yuan, full of vigilance and alertness. Fang Yuan gave her a smile, saying gently, "I told you, I am Chongshan Yin. Do you think I'm a fool? Just a moment ago, I saw the whole thing, I saw it firsthand till the end. Also, you are an outsider, stop using our northern accent to speak." The girl shrieked, her expression looked almost deranged. Fang Yuan looked at her with a considerate gaze, his face showing great wisdom that came with age. He let out a sigh filled with great emotion. "Little lady, rest assured, I mean you no harm, I am Chongshan Yin, from the beginning to the end, I did not lie to you." So how do you explain what just happened?" the young girl asked. Fang Yuan's eyes glanced upwards, ignoring the girl, and looked at the sky. His expression was in daze as he spoke in a reminiscent tone. "Little lady, have you ever heard of soul seizure?" Soul seizure? Zhe Yao had a blank look, her eyes flickered with confusion, and her tone was uncertain. "You mean, when a body is taken over by another soul?" Fang Yuan slowly and gently explained. "It seems you have heard about it before." "Yes, you're right, I was on the verge of death, with no one to rescue me, so I had no choice but to escape with my soul. In Poison Grassland, it is cloudy all year round, and the sun isn't visible, which allowed my soul to wander freely. I wandered for a whole 20 years, until I was able to seize the body of a foreign GU master. While I teleported back with my GU worm, I met you coincidentally." "Really, is what you are saying really true?" He, if I meant you harm, I would have killed you long ago, there would have been no reason to allow you to accompany me here, or even teaching you how to battle right. That's true, but if I wanted to guard against you, I wouldn't have let you witness these things. You are a Northern Plains native, and I am the great Chongshan Yin. I wouldn't do despicable things to a girl such as yourself. Why was it that I only managed to seize a body after 20 years? It was because I did not want to slaughter a Northern Plains native for my own selfish reasons. Little lady, will you attack me because of an outsider? Fang Yuan's smile was bright as the sun, speaking in a righteous tone. Chapter 433 Snowwash Gu. Chapter 433, Snowwash Gu. Zhe Yao gradually let her guard down. Your words are reasonable. If you truly are Chongshan Yin, then you would be the great hero of our Northern Plains. For a mere outsider, I definitely wouldn't make things difficult for you. Yet how can you prove your identity? Fang Yuan chuckled and his expression changed, revealing a trace of the arrogance that belonged to a senior expert. I, Chongshan Yin, will neither change my name or surname. I am me, why would I need to prove myself? Little girl, if you want to leave now, I will definitely not stop you. Fang Yuan's statement of allowing her to leave succeeded in shaking Zhe Yao's doubts, creating enormous hesitation in her heart. Fang Yuan did not miss this chance. Little girl, it's all right to be on guard, but just think, how many opportunities did I have to kill you on the way? There is no need to mention anything else, just think of the time we spent flying. I just had to release my hands and you would have fallen into the Earth Spike Rat group, your death would have been certain. But didn't I do that? Our meeting was fated. Since you had the courage to flee your marriage, why don't you have courage to face me? Zhe Yao fell into silence. Fang Yuan observed her expression and knew the time was ripe. Finishing off his explanation, come with me, you are still young, it is not safe for you to wander around the depths of poison grassland alone. Didn't you tell me you were searching for the snow spirea? You want to find a Snowwash Gu in the snow spirea, and bring it back to the clan to earn great merit, allowing you to cancel your marriage, correct? Honestly speaking, that line of thinking isn't realistic. 1 or 2 Snowwash Gu won't change your situation. It just so happens I also need a Snowwash Gu. I will bring you along to search for the snow spirea and capture a few Snowwash Gu, then I will take you back to your tribe and personally persuade your father. What do you think? Really? Zhe Yao's eyes immediately shone brightly. I remember that father idolizes you, saying that you were a great hero. Father will definitely listen to you. But what do you still need the Snowwash Gu for? Your mother has already passed away. Sigh. Fang Yuan's voice was melancholic, his expression lonely. He lowered his head before smiling bitterly. I already know my mother passed away due to poison over 20 years ago. I could not find the Snowwash Gu and return in time, I was unfilial. Do you know, since then, Snowwash Gu had already become my obsession. I must definitely capture one and kneel in front of my mother's tomb to repent. Tears fell down Fang Yuan's cheeks as he spoke of this. The girl looked at Fang Yuan's tears and was thoroughly convinced by Fang Yuan's lies. Her heart ached and consoled. Senior Chongshan Yin, this is not your fault. Everything was because of that damned Ha Tu Gu. Don't speak anymore, let's go. Fang Yuan waved his hand and walked forward. I am sorry, I was wrong. I should not have doubted you. Zhe Yao felt a twinge of guilt, immediately following behind Fang Yuan to apologize. Fang Yuan consoled the girl, causing her inner guilt to become even heavier. The two continued to walk to the depths of poison grassland. The purple fog continued to become denser and even poison-resistant wild beasts like poison-beard wolves rarely appeared. After walking 200 to 300 li, Fang Yuan and Zhe Yao had no choice but to use their Gu to detoxify themselves. After walking another 500 to 600 li, the poisonous purple fog became so dense that they could not even see their own hands. Zhe Yao's fog sparrow Gu had already lost its use in such a situation. However, Fang Yuan was already prepared and could still scout the distance of 1,000 steps. Senior Chongshan Yin, we should return. We can still go in another direction, maybe we can find the snow spirea there. If we go any deeper, I'm afraid. Zhe Yao's face was suffused with a purple color, she had already reached the point where she could endure no more. But Fang Yuan shook his head and refused to accept her suggestion, persisting on moving forward. The girl did not understand, but Fang Yuan was understood that snow spirea grew in very poisonous environments. And this poisonous grassland also had a lot of history. In the deepest part of poison grassland, there was a blessed land where ranked the 7 Gu Immortal Zhen Ran, titled Lady Poison Scorpion, resided. An uncountable number of poisonous grass grew on her Zidu blessed land with many large poisonous swamps and marshes. Large amounts of poisonous beasts and poisonous Gu lived on her blessed land. The toxins of these poisonous beings accumulated to such an intensity that even the blessed land could not endure it. Thus, every few years, the Blessed Land's entrance would open to release the dense toxic gas outside. Most of the toxic gas formed into the purple poison fog in the poisonous grassland. Some creatures at the lowest rung of the Blessed Land also took this chance to sneak out. Thus, there were large numbers of poison-beard wolves in the poisonous grassland. After a long period of this cycle, a complete change occurred to the surroundings of Zdu Blessed Land. Dark clouds covered the surroundings all year round, creating a world devoid of light. Purple fog lingered and tormented all living beings. Large numbers of poisonous grass grew, and the poison-beard wolves rampaged around outskirts of the poisoned lands. The grassland had become a forbidden zone for living beings and was named the poisonous grassland by the mortals out of fear. Zdu Blessed Land was at the center of the poisonous grassland, and the place Fang Yuan was currently at was around the center. In the depths of the grassland, dense poisonous fog lingered all year round, encouraging the growth of a large number of snow spirea. Fang Yuan knew if he persevered in moving forward a little longer, he would definitely see the snow spirea. Sure enough, as he had expected, after walking forward another few hundred steps, Fang Yuan discovered a snow spirea. The snow spirea was 20 feet tall. It had numerous branches and leaves on a pitch-black trunk, contrasted by the countless drooping spirea branches that were pure white. Within the dense purple fog, it appeared sacred and noble. Fang Yuan walked to the snow spirea with Zhe Yao, who immediately let out a shout of joy. The two began to carefully observe the snow-white leaves on the spirea branches. Soon enough, Zhe Yao discovered one leaf that had already turned into a GU. It was a Snow-Wash GU, an invaluable rank 4 GU. Snow-Wash Gu's detoxification ability was extraordinary, widely acknowledged by the Northern Plains GU masters. The two searched for a long while and found 3 Snow-Wash GU. Fang Yuan only took one and gave the other 2 to Zhe Yao, causing the girl to inwardly feel grateful. After he acquired the Snow-Wash GU, Fang Yuan took out a dark pearl. The Immortal GU, fixed immortal travel, was sealed inside, and at that moment, it quietly let out a slight amount of its immortal aura. If this aura persisted, it would easily be discovered by GU immortals. It is time. Fang Yuan willed and summoned a GU from his aperture. He poured his primeval essence towards the GU at once, turning the GU into a red iron cabinet, which then firmly sealed the dark pearl. Immediately, the immortal GU aura was cut without the slightest bit leaking out. This was the GU worm Fang Yuan captured on Sancha Mountain, unique to Tai clan, Iron Cabinet GU. Fang Yuan carried the iron cabinet on his back and walked back the way they came with Zhe Yao. After walking around 200 to 300 li, Fang Yuan stopped and took out Earth Treasury Flower King GU, stored the iron cabinet in its stamen, then planted it deep under the ground. This GU was a rank 5 GU and Fang Yuan had to spend quite some effort to plant it. His primeval essence was not enough, thus for a period, he had to pour primeval essence slowly while he absorbed primeval stones. It took him whole 4 hours before he finished. At Qingmao Mountain, Fang Yuan had obtained Flower Wine Monk's inheritance. The Flower Wine Monk had hidden his GU worms into Earth Treasury Flower GU. Earth Treasury Flower GU was only a rank 2 GU, and only after it advanced again and again, could it become a rank 5 Earth Treasury Flower King. When Earth Treasury Flower King bloomed open, it was 10 times larger than Earth Treasury Flower. It had huge dark golden petals that were as soft as silk and in the depths of its stamen was dark golden floral liquid. However, when Earth Treasury Flower King closed shut, its whole size was smaller than an infant's fist. It completely curled up in the depths of the ground, not leaking out the slightest bit of aura. After planting the Earth Treasury Flower King, Fang Yuan carefully destroyed all traces of it on the ground. At this moment, he had genuinely and completely hidden the Immortal GU Fixed Immortal Travel. Fang Yuan's aperture could not store Fixed Immortal Travel. He could only use this method to hide the Immortal GU and retrieve it in the future. In such a vast grassland, who would think an extremely precious Immortal GU was buried here? Yet the aura of the Immortal GU had still been a problem. Its aura would persist for a long while and attract GU immortals. Thus, Fang Yuan had intermittently sealed the Immortal GU when he buried it. It was to guard against a GU immortal search. Unless, the GU immortals that come possess an investigative Immortal GU, capable of seeing through the ground and scouting hundreds of li deep into the ground, the possibility of its discovery is slim. If Fixed Immortal Travel GU was truly discovered by some GU immortal and taken, Fang Yuan could only attribute it to his bad luck. However, even if that happened, he would absolutely not bring Fixed Immortal Travel with him. Compared to the Immortal GU, he felt his own life was more precious. The two continued moving through the grassland and returned to that battlefield. When they reached the place, Fang Yuan looked for another direction and did not move along their original way, using Jie Yao's return heart Ji to point the direction. The return trip was not smooth. Fang Yuan and Jie Yao encountered the attacks of wolf groups time and again. They even encountered thousand wolf groups 3 or 4 times. Fang Yuan could only grab Jie Yao and fly to the sky to avoid this calamity. As the two got closer to the outer edge of poison grassland, the number of wolves and difficulty they encountered decreased. About 100 poison-beard wolves pounced upon Fang Yuan and Jie Yao. Fang Yuan laughed brightly. He was happy instead of shocked as he flew to the air and pointed down. Wolf enslavement Ji, go! A rank 2 wolf enslavement Ji turned into a lump of blue smoke and descended, enshrouding the 100-beast wolf king. The 100-beast wolf king struggled intensely, its soul resisting strongly. But in front of Fang Yuan's 100-man soul, it failed utterly. Howl, howl! When Fang Yuan landed on the ground, the 100-beast wolf king ran around Fang Yuan's feet with its tail swaying like a little puppy. The wolf group it brought also remained motionless under its command, becoming Fang Yuan's minions. This was already the second wolf group Fang Yuan had subdued. As they continued, Fang Yuan's strength became stronger, the wolf group around him growing larger. Their trip of death before had unknowingly become a leisurely outing. When the wolf group following Fang Yuan increased to 1,000 wolves, with 400 beast wolf kings, poison grassland was no longer scary. With this safety, Fang Yuan began to settle the Gu worms from southern border. Northern Plains natives were xenophobic. His original appearance would have made him suffer exclusion and vigilance wherever he walked, making it difficult for him to do things, and the southern border Gu worms were also enormous flaws which could expose his identity. The innately cautious Fang Yuan would not allow these gaps to exist. All the Gu worms on him that were not from Northern Plains must be dealt with. Chapter 434 Chong Shan Yin, Be My Husband. Chapter 434, Chong Shan Yin, Be My Husband. The wide and huge poison grassland became even darker at night. Wind blew near the ears as the howling of wolves could be heard, resembling the cries of wandering spirits. A fire was burning silently on the grassland. Jie Yao got close to the fire, expelling the chill in her body. There was a pot on top of the fire, and a meat soup was cooking in it, emitting a fragrant smell. Jie Yao swallowed her saliva as her hunger intensified. Eventually, she gulped and asked Fang Yuan, "Senior Chong Shan Yin, can this meat soup be eaten already?" Fang Yuan sat opposite the young girl, the two were separated by the fire. "No rush, this dried meat has just entered the pot, it needs to cook to a boil. Wait a while more, when the meat is soft and juicy, it will be extremely delicious." Fang Yuan took out the moving perspective cup Gu as he said plainly. "Oh, we still have to wait so long." Jie Yao pouted, her beautiful face was shining in the flame, together with her long robe exclusive to Northern Plains and her beautiful accessories, it showed a unique style. But such a tranquil scene was not enough for Fang Yuan to take a second look. His gaze was on the moving perspective cup Gu. Moving perspective cup Gu was a rank 5 Gu, now that it was in Northern Plains, it was suppressed to rank 4. Speaking of capacity, it was weaker than other rank 4 Gu. It was expensive to feed, one of the most expensive among the rank 5 Gu worms. It was also extremely heavy on primeval essence consumption. But why did Fang Yuan choose it specifically, expending his energy and resources to refine it? That is because it originated from thieving heaven demon Venerable. He stole from heaven and robbed earth. He was the wealthiest Venerable in history. He spent his entire life's effort to find the rumored legendary Space Cave. Space Cave was first depicted in less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than, it was a forbidden ground on the same level as the River of Time. In the River of Time, there were large numbers of Time Path Gu worms. Inside the Space Cave, there were countless Space Path Gu worms. It connected the 5 regions, hidden in a place no one knew. Pushing open a door from inside the Space Cave, one can reach any place in the world. The door that connected the Space Cave was also known as the Space Door. Space Door was omnipresent, it could be in a narrow crack, or in the wide and boundless sky. Where there is space, there is a door into Space Cave. But from the past until now, very little people could find the Space Cave, not to mention going inside. In the entire human history, only one person had managed to enter and exit it. Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable discovered the recipe of the moving perspective cup Gu. His intention was to send this moving perspective cup Gu into the Space Cave, and bring out large numbers of wild Gu worms inside it. But he failed, yet succeeded. 400 years later, his blessed land was excavated, and all sorts of Gu immortals competed for it. The recipe of the moving perspective cup GU was also spread as a result. Its strong effect quickly caused many GU immortals to recommend it, and it became famous throughout the regions. Fang Yuan took out the Golden Dragon GU from his aperture. The rank 4 Golden Dragon GU was suppressed into a rank 3. After it flew out, it entered the moving perspective cup GU. Fang Yuan injected large amounts of primeval essence into the moving perspective cup GU. This cup with a gold top and silver bottom, immediately gave off a strong golden silver light, floating in the air. Fang Yuan pulled back his hand, and pushed the cup slightly forward. The moving perspective cup GU moved forward, until it vanished. First, the sides vanished, and then half the cup was gone, finally it vanished in midair. Zhe Yao stood up abruptly, staring with wide-opened eyes as she saw this strange scene. At the same time, far away in central continent, Hu Immortal blessed land. Little Hu Immortal suddenly had a feeling, immediately teleporting into Dang Hun Palace's secret room. In the secret room, a moving perspective cup GU gave off a shining radiance as it floated in the sky. As if it was pulled by an invisible force, it moved forward slowly before vanishing in the air. When moving perspective cup GU completely vanished, Fang Yuan stretched out both his palms parallel to the ground as he activated his primeval essence again. Suddenly, a golden silver light burst out in his palm. Immediately after, Zhe Yao saw the rim of a cup appearing, gradually growing to become half the cup, and finally, the entire cup appeared from thin air. When the light faded, the cup-like GU worms landed in Fang Yuan's palms. Done, Fang Yuan muttered. Seeing this cup, he knew that his plans did not go out of control. Senior Chong Shanyin, what did you do? This GU doesn't seem right. Zhe Yao walked a few steps towards Fang Yuan and asked curiously. In what way? Fang Yuan laughed lightly, taking out a primeval stone and recovering his primeval essence quickly. Zhe Yao did not speak, she only stared at moving perspective cup GU, when suddenly her eyes shone, as she shouted. This GU is not the same, originally it was golden top and silver bottom, but now it is silver top and golden bottom. Fang Yuan laughed. That's right, there was not just one moving perspective GU, there were two. These two GU worms, one was golden top and silver bottom, while the other was silver top and golden bottom. The two together, made up the complete moving perspective cup GU. Before Fang Yuan left, he brought one with him while placing the other in Hu Immortal blessed land. When he injected his primeval essence, the two moving perspective cup GU entered the space cave, and swapped positions with each other inside the space cave. The one that was in the blessed land thus came to Fang Yuan. As for the cup that held Golden Dragon GU, it returned to Hu Immortal blessed land. In the past, thieving heaven demon Venerable wanted to rely on the moving perspective cup GU to steal the GU worms inside space cave. He failed and did not achieve his goal. But the moving perspective cup GU, in another way, was a great success. Using the omnipresent space cave, a pair of moving perspective cup GU could interchange in the space cave and transport resources between two places. Most importantly, it was rank 5, it was not a unique immortal GU. In Fang Yuan's previous life, during the chaotic battle of the 5 regions, moving perspective cup GU was a must-have GU for all factions. Even GU immortals competed for it. Fang Yuan took out a letter from this moving perspective cup GU. It was written by Little Hu Immortal, stating the current situation in the blessed land. Fang Yuan had only been in Poison Grassland for 5 to 6 days, but a month had already passed in Hu Immortal blessed land. The letter stated that other than Dang Hun Mountain, everything was going well. Immortal Crane Sect suggested another transaction, but according to Fang Yuan's instructions, Little Hu Immortal rejected it. If they did more transactions, Immortal Crane Sect would have a higher chance of finding out that Fang Yuan was not in the Blessed Land. Fang Yuan was in Northern Plains, but he was still concerned with the Blessed Land. Using the moving perspective cup GU to exchange letters like this, he could control the situation behind the scenes, and other people's schemes would not succeed. Fang Yuan sent a letter back after looking at the one he received. Zhe Yao was completely lost, she could not read Central Continent characters. Together with this letter, Fang Yuan placed 3 rank 4 GU inside, Golden Coat GU, Charging Crash GU, and Bone Wings GU. The more things were placed inside, the more primeval essence consumed by the moving perspective cup GU. In contrast, the distance between the two cups did not matter. This is because moving perspective cup GU was created in a special way, it used the mystical forbidden passage of the space cave. Fang Yuan's earlier attempt was a test run. After making sure that the moving perspective cup GU was working fine, he started to send all his GU worms that were from southern border into the blessed land, for little Hu Immortal to take care of them. In the blessed land, little Hu Immortal sprawled on the table, staring at blank space with her large shining eyes. The golden dragon GU in the moving perspective cup GU was already taken away. Suddenly, moving perspective cup GU started floating again, and entered the space cave. Afterwards, another cup appeared and landed on the table. Little Hu Immortal took out the things inside moving perspective cup GU, and saw Fang Yuan's reply, extremely elated as she shouted, "Master's reply." With just one cycle, the primeval essence in Fang Yuan's aperture were mostly expended. He had to hold onto a primeval stone and replenish his primeval essence again. Zhe Yao stood at one side, gradually starting to understand. She, who was overwhelmed with curiosity, asked a few more questions again. But Fang Yuan only smiled plainly, not replying her. HMPH, acting all mysterious, it's no big deal. The girl pouted, sitting back at her original seat in displeasure. She sat down, frowning as she stared at Fang Yuan angrily. Fang Yuan completely ignored her, causing her to be even more angry. She was doted on by her father since young, she was the beauty of her tribe, no one had ever dared to look down on her. But during this entire journey, Fang Yuan did not give her any attention. Many youths had pursued her with great enthusiasm, causing her temperament to become even more arrogant. Zhe Yao stared at Fang Yuan for a while more. After he recovered his primeval essence, he started to use the moving perspective cup GU again, completely forgetting her existence. However, this time, this Northern Plains young girl's displeasure vanished. He is after all Chongshan Yin, he is not someone those young and immature brats can compare with. In his eyes, what am I? Just an unimportant junior, I guess. Thinking so, Zhe Yao felt dejected. As she looked at Fang Yuan's face, she became dazed. Fang Yuan used human skin GU to change his appearance. With the features of a Northern Plains native, it matched her sense of beauty even more. When Chongshan Yin was young, he was one of the most handsome teenagers in Chong tribe. His 5 features were proper, his nose was sharp, his brown eyes were deep, his thick lips showed his determined personality. His sideburns were already turning white, it showed the experience and wisdom of a mature man. That was an intense attraction to a young girl. As the light of the flame flickered, Fang Yuan's expression flickered along with it, his determined and mature disposer was strongly felt. Zhe Yao's thoughts drifted, she thought secretly, what kind of person was Fang Yuan? The startle when they first met, the warmth when he smiled, the knowledge when he gave her pointers, the bravery when he fought, and the absolute calmness when he tore down his own skin. All these scenes flashed in the young girl's heart, it was so vivid, like the memories were ingrained in the girl. What about his past? Zhe Yao thought again. Chongshan Yin's past was a heroic tale, it was widely spread in Northern Plains. Numerous people respected him, loved him, and thought well of him. When he was young, his reputation was overwhelming, he was the future hope of Chong tribe. He was famous very quickly, his first-rate wolf enslavement skill caused people to marvel. Most importantly, he was righteous and just, forgiving and kind, he never oppressed the weak, was filial to his parents, and helped tribesmen in need. At the same time he had a great sense of brotherhood and loyalty, he placed his life on the line to protect his tribe, and performed great deeds for Chong tribe. He married a beautiful wife, but gained the betrayal of his childhood friend. Fate toyed with him, causing this man to lose his mother, his sworn brother, his beautiful wife, and almost, his own life. But he survived in the end. Relying on his own hard work, he crawled up from the abyss of death, and created a legend that normal people could never imagine. This man shoulders endless pain and suffering, countless wounds and injuries are hidden within him. Zhe Yao thought of this and had a strong urge to hug Fang Yuan, using her warmth to heal this injured lone wolf, the former wolf king. As the fire burned on, the wood was crackling under the flame. Zhe Yao's gaze towards Fang Yuan became more infatuated, she could not longer help herself. Under the warm fire, a young girl's feelings were developing and growing. When Fang Yuan finished this round of cup exchange, and took out a primeval stone to recover his primeval essence, Zhe Yao secretly made the most important decision in her life. She suddenly stood up, shouting towards Fang Yuan, "Chongshan Yin. Be my husband." The voice spread far and wide in the quiet grassland. What did you say? Fang Yuan frowned, even with his 500 years of experience, he could not anticipate this girl's change of heart. After he reacted, he smiled. Stop fooling around, young girl, I am your senior. Looking at our age, I am over 20 years older than you, my son will be a good match for you. No, Chongshan Yin, I want you. Chapter 435 Don't Block My Road to Success. Chapter 435 Don't Block My Road to Success. No, Chong Shan-yin, I want you. Zhe Yao's voice resonated in the grassland. Under the illumination of the bonfire, her eyes shone brightly as she stared head-on at Fang Yuan. Chong Shan-yin, you are the hero of this great plains, your reputation extends far and wide. You are the man I can entrust my whole life to. Age is not a problem. Back in the day, didn't old ancestor Giant Sun marry young women every year even after he was 1,000 years old? Fang Yuan's expression turned dark. All right, don't make a scene. Zhe Yao stamped her foot and raised her voice. I am not making a scene. Chong Shan-yin, I have already been deeply attracted to you along the way. Just earlier, I discovered that I had completely fallen in love with you. I am willing to give myself and everything to you, please accept me. Young girl, I already have a wife. Fang Yuan heaved a sigh and said with a complex expression. Zhe Yao immediately shook her head. Your wife has already remarried. Even if you snatch her back, I don't mind. I don't intend to take your first wife's position, I am satisfied being your concubine. Old ancestor Giant Sun had hundreds of thousands of imperial concubines, but only had one empress. However, Fang Yuan refused firmly, I won't marry again. My heart is already still, just like this poison grassland. You are still too young and are unable to understand my mind. During the days I spent in the wolf's belly where I could not move at all, I felt extremely painful. When my soul floated over the vast plains, I wandered around aimlessly, but my mind gradually elevated to a greater height. I recalled my past, watched many people's life and death. The suffering or happiness of my former life were no longer able to enter my heart. I have been completely reborn, I am a new Chong Shan-yin, I also won't return to Chong tribe. Then, come to my Zhe tribe. Zhe Yao's eyes shone. She invited with utmost sincerity, but Fang Yuan still refused and did not show any signs of being moved. Chong Shan-yin, is your heart made of iron? You doubt me, do you want me to take out my heart to let you check, just like those rockmen? Zhe Yao muttered, her eyes turned red and tears were on the verge of falling. Howl, right at this moment, the howling of wolf groups signified that they were nearby. A large group of poison-beard wolves were attracted by the fire and rapidly approached Fang Yuan and Zhe Yao. However, there were large amounts of wolves resting beside the bonfire. The two groups of wolves soon clashed against each other and an intense battle unfolded. This is a 1,000-beast group. Zhe Yao's attention was attracted towards the wolves, her expression becoming grave. If it was before, they would choose to retreat when they came across such a scale of wolf group, but now Fang Yuan smiled coldly. No matter, the situation is different from before, we also have a wolf group to help us. Zhe Yao, I need to ask you to restrict the 1,000-beast wolf king. My primeval essence is exhausted, I will come assist you after I replenish it. The girl nodded her head but she did not immediately leave and instead looked at Fang Yuan with her bright gaze. Fang Yuan looked at her. Go. Zhe Yao pursed her lips, her gaze was firm as she still remained motionless. Fang Yuan could only use a soft stance and said gently, all right, I will consider this matter. But I want the answer now. Zhe Yao immediately said. A dark light flashed past Fang Yuan's eyes, but on the surface he heaved a sigh and proposed, if you can kill this 1,000-beast king alone, I will agree and take you as my wife. Really, hee, a promise that us northern plainsmen make can never be broken. Zhe Yao's eyes shone brightly at this reply, okay, then just wait. Battle intent filled the girl's heart and she charged towards the battlefield, directly taking on the 1,000-beast wolf king. Gazing at her leaving, Fang Yuan's smile quickly disappeared, replaced by indifference. He did not expect Zhe Yao would be so attracted to him, the feeling of love had already taken his roots deep within her. However, when it came to love, this thing had always been unreasonable and was very difficult to deduce with common sense. Long ago, desolate ancient moon climbed Chengbai mountain and met with a rockman's pursuit. According to less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than. Ren Zhu could not save his eldest son verdant great son, and at the final juncture of resurrection, he made a great mistake and was swept away by reverse flow river back into Luopo Valley. His eldest daughter desolate ancient moon heard of this and wanted to go rescue her father. However, one must have the help of courage Gu and faith Gu to enter the life and death door. But these Gu were with her father Ren Zhu. Desolate ancient moon was unable to enter the life and death door. She wanted to rescue Ren Zhu but had no ways, so she asked for guidance from Cognition Gu. Cognition Gu gave her two methods. The first method was to enter Space Cave, then open the space door to directly move to Ren Zhu's side. She could then use the space cave to escape life and death door. However, this method could only rescue Ren's soul and could not resurrect him. The second method was to climb to the peak of Chengbai Mountain and find the one and only Success Gu. As long as she made a wish to Success Gu, she could rescue Ren Zhu and allow him to successfully resurrect. Desolate Ancient Moon already knew of Space Cave's existence, but she had no idea how to find the Space Cave. Moreover, to let her father truly resurrect, she had to go to Chengbai Mountain. Chengbai Mountain was not tall and was like a mound. It was peculiar as it was made from millions and millions of pebbles. These pebbles were actually failure Gu. And there was only one Success Gu at the peak of Chengbai Mountain. Desolate Ancient Moon walked to the foot of the mountain and began to ascend the mountain. Her movement woke up Love Gu who was sleeping nearby. Love Gu was very angry at having its sleep disturbed and wanted to take revenge against Desolate Ancient Moon. It used its unique power to awaken a piece of stone. The stone gained life because of Love Gu and became a rockman. The rockman was tall and might, his body filled with gold, silver, copper and iron, looking very dazzling and gorgeous. After the rockman was born, the first thing he saw was Desolate Ancient Moon. Her shocking beauty immediately conquered his heart. He started following behind Desolate Ancient Moon, and as he looked at her fair back view, his heart was filled with love. Finally, he could not endure it anymore and ran past Desolate Ancient Moon and blocked her, shouting loudly, "Beautiful lady, your appearance is so dazzling, your body is so elegant and your temperament is so noble. The very first moment I saw you, I was subdued by you. You are my love, please accept my love for you." The rockman's physique was huge, completely blocking Desolate Ancient Moon's path. Desolate Ancient Moon slightly furrowed her brows and sized up the rockman before speaking coldly, "Love, what is that thing? You want me to accept your love, but where is it?" The rockman immediately took off the iron pieces from his body and offered them to Desolate Ancient Moon. "Beautiful lady, this is my firmness. I give it all to you, this is my love." Desolate Ancient Moon disappointedly shook her head, she had no interest in these iron pieces. The rockman was dazed before taking out the copper pieces from his body and piling them above the iron pieces. "Beautiful lady, this is my obstinance. I give it all to you because this is my love." Desolate Ancient Moon impatiently said, "Please move away, I have no interest in love, I need to rescue my father." The rockman panicked seeing that the goddess of his heart was unmoved. He kneeled down and made up his mind, taking out all the silver pieces in his body and piling them above the copper pieces. "Beautiful lady, this is my dignity. I give it all to you, this will prove my love for you, right?" Desolate Ancient Moon's furrowed brows deepened. "Listen, I don't have time to waste with you." The rockman became more anxious and took out all the gold pieces in his body and put them above the silver pieces. "Beautiful lady, this is my self-confidence. I give it all to you, they represent my love for you." Desolate Ancient Moon heaved a deep sigh. "Rockman, to express your love for me, you gave up your firmness, put down your obstinance, lost your dignity and even gave up your self-confidence. However, what I see is a very ugly rockman. Get up, I cannot accept your love, I have more important things to do." After losing his gold, silver, copper and iron decorations, the rockman looked very small and weak, even appearing comical. It lost all the beauty and might it had before. The rockman wept and begged Desolate Ancient Moon, "Then, how can I obtain your love?" Desolate Ancient Moon was anxious, but the rockman kept on kneeling on the ground. She thought of an idea and changed her expression to show a smile. "Rockman, since you love me, take out your real heart for me to see." The rockman opened his chest without any hesitation and offered his scarlet heart to Desolate Ancient Moon. Desolate Ancient Moon took the heart and immediately kept it. The rockman then said, "Now, I can obtain your love, right?" Desolate Ancient Moon shook her head. "Even if you offer your heart, it cannot exchange for my love." Chang Shan Yin, look at this. Zhe Yao's whole body was soaked in blood and injuries, her breathing was rough as she walked towards Fang Yuan with the head of the Thousand Wolf King in her hand. With the loss of their Wolf King, the invading wolf group collapsed and fled. Fang Yuan slowly stood up and nodded, "You killed the Thousand Wolf King." Zhe Yao showed extraordinary performance in the battle, but she suffered grave injuries, her whole face was stained with blood and her primeval essence was completely dried up. She looked at Fang Yuan with glittering eyes. "Chang Shan Yin, you are a hero, you won't go back on your words, right?" "Of course I won't, your love has moved me. From today onwards, you are my wife." Fang Yuan gazed at Zhe Yao profoundly, then step by step, he moved closer and hugged her. The girl relaxed her hands, the Wolf King's head fell down on the ground, and she passionately hugged Fang Yuan back. Her breathing sped up and her heart thumped rapidly. This moment was even more nerve-wracking than when she was fighting the Wolf King. In Fang Yuan's warm embrace, she felt happiness and her eyes reddened. Kai, a soft sound suddenly echoed. The girl's face stiffened and she used all her strength to get out of Fang Yuan's embrace, then lowered her head to look at her chest. There, a sharp dagger had pierced into it. It was a fatal strike to both her body and mind. Why? Zhe Yao gazed at Fang Yuan with disbelief, her delicate body shook, and her gaze was filled with anger, hatred, shock and doubt. Fang Yuan looked at the girl and said, expressionlessly. He spoke of the story in less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than. The rock man was panicking seeing desolate ancient moon had stored his heart away. He said, heartless woman, your cold-heartedness has made me despair. Since I can't obtain your love, then please give back my heart. Without my heart, I will die. But desolate ancient moon did not return the heart and watched as he slowly died. Why? I love you so much, why are you killing me? The rock man shouted before his death. Desolate ancient moon looked at him with pity, but her voice was tranquil. Rockman, I did not want to kill you. But you blocked my path to success. Path to success. After Zhe Yao heard this reply, she could no longer stand and collapsed on the ground. The dense aura of death made her body increasingly colder. The girl raised her small head, revealing her swan-like exquisite neck. She gazed at the dark night sky and laughed mournfully. She laughed only for few seconds before tears fell down her face. She looked at Fang Yuan, her gaze still expressing the deep love as before. Chongshan Yin. I don't know how I am blocking your path to success. But now, even if you kill me, I do not hate you. Maybe you are seeking revenge. I will leave all my GU worms to you, I hope they can be of some use to you in your path to success. Cough cough, the girl coughed out blood and begged Fang Yuan with a grieved smile, I am going to die, but before I die, I have a small favor to ask. I hope you can hug me, I really want to feel your warm embrace. However, Fang Yuan did not move, his gaze coldly looking at the girl. He looked at the girl and saw her expression becoming stiffer as vitality left her bit by bit. Finally, the flower-like girl became an ice-cold corpse. Fang Yuan fell into a long silence as he looked at Zhe Yao's face. Chapter 436 No regret even if I die along the way. Chapter 436. No regret even if I die along the way. Even if it was daytime, poison grassland was still solemn and dark. The thick dark clouds obstructed the entry of sunlight. Behind a low mound, one hump wolf was lurking. The hump wolf's size was as large as a war horse. Its body had black and long fur, and 2 camel humps on its back. A pair of wolf eyes shone with eerie light in the darkness. It was lying on the mound, completely still like a statue. Even its breathing was slow, if one took a glance, they would think it was a piece of steel. Suddenly, the hump wolf's long ears vibrated. Under its watchful gaze, a gray rabbit jumped out of a hole on the mound, starting to look for food. Even though there were delicious grass near its hole, the gray rabbit did not care about them, it rushed out to look for grass far away. Rabbits did not eat grass near their hole as it would expose the hole that they lived in. The hump wolf saw the gray rabbit emerge, and its eyes drooped even lower, hiding most of its pupils, only leaving a small slit. As the gray rabbit ate grass, its ears were standing high in the air. If there were any danger alerts, it would raise its head quickly and look around, extremely vigilant. Hump wolf was extremely patient, watching the gray rabbit eat happily, it did not move, as if it was dead. The gray rabbit continued to eat, indulging in its delicious meal. When it was full, it started to return. Just at this moment, the hump wolf struck. It jumped out of the mound and charged towards the rabbit. Gray rabbit's return route was blocked by the hump wolf. In its shock, it turned around to escape. Its speed was fast. As it sprinted, it resembled a white lightning swimming in the grass. The rabbit's speed was higher than the hump wolf, quickly pulling some distance between them. But after sprinting for a while, it slowed down. The gray rabbit has explosive speed, but its stamina was much less than the wolf. The two ran and chased on poison grassland, engaging in a death chase. This was the most common scene in poison grassland, the game of survival between predator and prey. The hump wolf got closer and closer, seeing the gray rabbit right before it, the wolf jumped and assaulted. But at this moment, the rabbit's speed rapidly increased, as it jumped to one side. After dodging the fatal attack, it moved away from the hump wolf again. This gray rabbit is very crafty, its fatigue earlier was just an act, it still had the ability to protect itself. Hump wolf did not succeed in its attack, thus it had to continue chasing after the rabbit. Soon, the distance between them shortened again. The hump wolf jumped again, but missed once more. After 3 to 4 times, the rabbit was exhausted, it was finally killed by the hump wolf. The hump wolf breathed roughly, sprawling on the ground before getting up after a long while. In this cruel competition, the predator did not always have an easy time, they often faced much difficulty and suffering. After catching this gray rabbit with much effort, the hump wolf did not enjoy this delicacy, but held it in its mouth as it returned to its home. In the den, there was a female hump wolf and numerous newborn wolf cubs to feed. But when this hump wolf got back to its den, it only saw blood traces and cold corpses. Howl! It abandoned the gray rabbit corpse, and howled angrily towards the sky. The fur on its neck stood up, as the intense hatred turned its eyes red. A large group of poison-beard wolves surrounded it from all directions. Far away on a mound, Fang Yuan crossed his arms as he looked down, observing this battlefield. He, as expected, a male wolf came. He laughed lightly, feeling that his recent luck had finally improved. Hump wolves were outstanding mounts in northern plains, although Fang Yuan had Chong Shanyan's rank 4 wolf sprint GU, it expended quite a bit of primeval essence. He would rather ride a hump wolf, it was quicker and easier. When Fang Yuan accidentally found this wolf's den, he killed the weak female wolf and its cubs, obtaining a rank 2 wolf enslavement GU. He did not leave in a hurry, but instead used the poison-beard wolves as ambush, awaiting the return of the male wolf. The battle between hump wolves and poison-beard wolves had just gotten intense. The hump wolf had a large physique, together with the furious emotions it had, it battled even more fiercely. Using its claws, ordinary poison-beard wolves were not its match. But with Fang Yuan's manipulation, the poison-beard wolves were very cunning, they did not fight it head-on, but cooperated and worked with great teamwork, taking turns to drain the hump wolf's stamina. After an hour, the hump wolf was breathing raggedly as it lost the ferocity it had earlier. Around it, there were 60 or so poison-beard wolf corpses, that was its greatest achievement. Of course, if Fang Yuan wanted to kill it, with his skill in enslavement path, he would only need to sacrifice 30 poison-beard wolves. But Fang Yuan wanted it alive, thus when he battled, he was restricted in many ways. It's about time. Fang Yuan looked at the hump wolf's trembling limbs in the wind, he slowly walked down and got closer to the wolf. Now, most of his GU worms were sent back to Immortal blessed land using moving perspective cup GU. When he was 200 steps away from the hump wolf, Fang Yuan's finger pointed and a rank 2 wolf enslavement GU flew out. The wolf enslavement GU exploded, turning into a light smoke that covered the hump wolf's body. Hump wolf quickly jumped back to evade, but the light smoke chased after it. The hump wolf howled, charging towards Fang Yuan. However, the poison-beard wolf pack stopped it with their full force. In a few breaths' time, the smoke completely merged into its body. Hump wolf lied down on the ground weakly, its body was covered in wounds that were bleeding, its bright red eyes no longer stared at Fang Yuan with hatred but showed submission. 100-man soul is really useful, if I did not use the guts GU, I would need to spend a lot of effort to capture this hump wolf. Fang Yuan sighed in his heart, before activating Wolf Smoke GU in his aperture. Wolf Smoke GU flew out, turning into thick smoke as it engulfed hump wolf, as well as most of the injured poison-beard wolves. In a moment, the thick smoke dispersed, and hump wolf's injuries were fully healed, it even grew new fur. The injured poison-beard wolves also regained their vitality. However, even without injuries, their battle strength was not at their peak. What affected the battle strength of beasts was not just injuries, but also their hunger. For wolves to display their full strength, they cannot be too hungry, as it leads to weakness. But they cannot be too full, as that would make them more sluggish. Earlier, when the hump wolf hunted, why did it patiently wait for the gray rabbit to get full? It was the same reason. Only when the wolves are half full and half hungry, could they have the will to fight, fighting most harshly and fiercely. After battling for so long, be it the hump wolf or the poison-beard wolves, they had lost a lot of stamina and were hungry. Fang Yuan willed, and the poison-beard wolves started eating the corpse of the dead wolves. Hump wolf ate that gray rabbit, and by the command of Fang Yuan, started to devour the dead female wolf and her cubs as well. Fang Yuan stood on the spot, taking out his rations and consuming them. 3 days had passed since he killed Zhe Yao. Zhe Yao had to die, the moment she saw fixed Immortal travel GU, her death was guaranteed. Furthermore, she had first seen Fang Yuan step into Northern Plains naked, and then saw him bury the Immortal GU, as well as using moving perspective cup GU. She knew too many things, in Fang Yuan's heart, she was a definite target to kill. Except when Fang Yuan first came, his battle strength was low. In order to move around in poison grassland, he needed her assistance. But Jie Yao could not be allowed to live. If her naivety could be used by Fang Yuan, others could naturally use it as well. She was such a burden. With her ordinary soul foundation, others only needed the mind-reading Jiyu or recollection Jiyu on her to be able to completely expose Fang Yuan's plans and divulge his secrets to the world. This was a premeditated murder by Fang Yuan. As they survived hurdles one after another, the ghost-faced sunflower sea, the earth spike rats, the shadow crows, as well as finding Chongshan Yin and using his skin, to finding Snowwash Jiyu and burying the earth treasury flower king Jiyu, her value and use was diminishing. At the same time, her threat was rising slowly. Her love towards Fang Yuan also made him, who was disguised as Chongshan Yin, feel like a dagger was placed at his throat, a great sense of danger. A young girl in love would use all ways possible to understand the person she loves, not just the present but also his past and future. What happens when she finds out the truth? Moreover, she had a tribe behind her. She was the young missy of her tribe. Being loved by such a person, no matter how low-key Fang Yuan was, he would be at the center of attention. Remember that there were many young masters in Man tribe who were infatuated with Jie Yao's beauty. If Fang Yuan returned with Jie Yao, he would definitely be heavily watched by the two tribes. Why did he have to attract so much hostility for this burden? Fang Yuan was not afraid of hostility, but his purpose in Northern Plains was not for a vacation. He had limited time, he was racing against time. Danghun Mountain was nearing death, and Spring-Autumn Cicada was recovering slowly. Meanwhile his cultivation was only rank 4 peak stage. He had to strive towards success, he could not fail. Once he failed, he would fall into the abyss, he would have no hope left. On this road, he was destined to be lonely. There were only two outcomes. Either he succeeds, or he faces destruction. Thus, when the two got close to the outer border of poison grassland, Fang Yuan used an opportunity when there were few people and it was convenient to kill to end her life. After Jie Yao was killed, Fang Yuan ordered the wolves to devour her corpse. Her soul was obviously not spared. He used the burial soul toad to swallow it. It had already been sent to the blessed land and was crushed by Danghun Mountain. The area near the fireplace had already been carefully inspected. There were no traces or evidence left. All in all, Jie Yao had been wiped off the face of this world. Her only remains might probably be the feces that the poison-beard wolves excrete. This so-called beauty, in the end, she was just a pile of shit. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. A beautiful young girl, in this heaven and earth, she was just like a flower. Either she gets trampled on at the roadside, or she wilters when her time is up, becoming an ugly fertilizer for the earth. Without eternal life, even the most beautiful thing is but the reflection of the moon in the water. The value of their existence is mere for that second of elegance. The more experiences that Fang Yuan went through, the more he understood the cruelty of this world. Without immortality, even the most valuable of things will become worthless. The so-called praised for 100 years, are leaving a stench for 10,000 years, these are all superficial thinking of those cowards. The so-called immortality in spirit is merely a tool for descendants to make use of. Is it true that the existence of humans can only be affirmed through one another? So be it on earth. But here in this world, if there is even a slight possibility, I want to pursue it. Even if I die on the road while pursuing my goals, even if I die a million times worse than Jie Yao, I have absolutely no regrets. Fang Yuan was resolved for death from the start. But only if he placed all his effort, and contributed his all towards the pursuit of his dream, could he die without a hint of regret. Hey, who could understand the heart of this transmigrator plus reincarnator Fang Yuan? The road he walked on was destined to be filled with endless darkness, he was destined to be lonely forever. The direction he walked was towards the light in his heart, immortality, a possibility so slim that it was almost impossible. In this world, nobody understood him. But he does not need anyone's understanding. Chapter 437 Wind Wolf King. Chapter 437, Wind Wolf King. The wolf group finished eating. Fang Yuan rode on the hump wolf's back and resumed his journey. These days, I have been moving according to the direction Jie Yao pointed. I am almost at the edge of poison grassland. If I move further, I will see human habitations. Hump wolf was a natural mount, its two humps formed a comfortable saddle. Fang Yuan sat between the two humps, inspecting his aperture while moving forward. There were only around 10 GU worms remaining in his aperture. Besides Spring-Autumn Cicada and Moving Perspective Cup GU, they were all Northern Plains GU worms. The GU that were from southern border and central continent were already sent to Immortal blessed land. Fang Yuan did not keep even a single primeval stone. Southern border primeval stones could be used in northern plains, but they had some differences with northern plains primeval stones. Zhe Yao could not see it because she was too young and too naive. But generally, any GU master that had some experience and shrewdness could notice it. Unfortunately, Moving Perspective Cup GU, a rank 5 GU, has been suppressed to rank 4 in northern plains and can only contain rank 4 GU. If I could send fixed immortal travel to the blessed land with it, it would be perfect. Sigh, I hope my method is effective. If some other GU immortal took fixed immortal travel GU, it would be a heavy loss to Fang Yuan. However, Fang Yuan could do nothing else as he had already done everything possible. Immortal Gu's aura lasts for about a month. If there are no problems during this period, then fixed immortal travel GU will be safe. Soon, I will run into Northern Plains GU masters. I absolutely cannot be careless. It would be best if I can subdue 1,000 Wolf King during this period of time and raise the number of the wolves to over 2,000. Sometimes, humans were more terrifying than wild beasts. A wolf group of over 2,000 wolves could intimidate most of the small characters. Currently, I only have one rank 3 and one rank 2 wolf enslavement GU, I must use them carefully. I will be moving using Chong Shan Yin's identity in Northern Plains. Wolf enslavement should be the main priority. But there is an obstacle, I do not have the recipes for rank 3 and rank 4 wolf enslavement GU. Almost all the beast enslavement GU were expendable GU, and after they were used, whether it resulted in success or failure, they would disperse. Rank 3 wolf enslavement GU could enslave 1,000 wolf king. Rank 4 wolf enslavement GU could enslave myriad wolf king or mutated beasts. Without the recipe for these two GU, Fang Yuan would not have many wolf enslavement GU. Without these wolf enslavement GU, Fang Yuan's wolf group could have a most a few thousand wolves, it was not enough to enter the limelight. With the hump wolf's pace, the following journey was sped up by 3 times. Fang Yuan traveled day and night, the dark clouds hovering over his head also gradually thinned. 2 days later, he finally reached the edge of poison grassland. In the sky, the dark clouds were dispersed here and there. Rays of sunlight passed through the gaps between the dark clouds and fell on the ground in the form of light pillars. Looking from afar, the green grassland flourished under the light, flowers having the colors of blue, purple or yellow eagerly blossomed. The low and gently sloping mounds were completely filled with greenery without any gaps. A small river flowed gently beside the mounds and sparkled like a silver necklace under the sunlight. I am finally out, Fang Yuan felt moved. Riding on the hump wolf's back and surrounded by poison-beard wolves, he slowly walked towards the sunlight. The poison-beard wolves were restless. They were adapted to hunting in dark surroundings, the sunlight would greatly affect their battle strength. Fang Yuan did not care, these poison-beard wolf group were only temporary, they would be eliminated sooner or later. Fang Yuan gazed back, poison grassland behind him was still covered with dark clouds, dusky sunlight and gloomy cold wind. On the corrupted land, there were dark purplish poisonous grass, bent into all kinds of shapes. Compared to this side of the grassland which had sunlight shining over it, it showed a clear contrast, like they were two different worlds. Immortal blessed land's eastern area is also covered in dense clouds. If they are not dealt with in time, that land would also develop towards the direction of poison grassland. Poison grassland, I will be back. Just as Fang Yuan was mumbling, his body suddenly relaxed. Since the time he entered Northern Plains, he felt uncomfortable, a formless restriction had covered his body. Right now, this restriction slightly loosened and Fang Yuan immediately felt he was much closer to this vast land. Subsequently, his aura rose and from rank 3 peak stage, it reached rank 4 initial stage. A joyous feeling rose up involuntarily, causing Fang Yuan to laugh heartily. With his body gradually adapting to Northern Plains, his cultivation also slowly recovered. This would be a great help to his following plans. Northern Plains, I'm coming. Fang Yuan shouted. He squeezed the wolf's belly with his legs, the hump wolf started running towards a distant location, leading the poison-beard wolf group. Kill! Shouting resounded over a hill, dozens of GU masters were in an intense battle with over 1,000 wind wolves. The battle had already continued for 15 minutes. This damned wind wolves! The leader Zhe Guang cursed with a malevolent expression, he waved the saber in his hand, cutting off the head of a wind wolf. But after cutting off the head, his saber broke into 2. The 2 halves of the saber were also already filled with holes. Howl! A wind wolf suddenly leapt and charged towards Zhe Guang. Young tribe leader, careful! Spiral water arrow. A GU master behind Zhe Guang anxiously shouted. Hearing this shout, from a tacit understanding that came from fighting all year round, Zhe Guang did not think and suddenly bent his waist. It looked like he took the initiative to send himself to the wolf's mouth. The wind wolf that was in midair opened its mouth and revealed its sharp fangs. Just as it seemed like it was going to bite off Zhe Guang's head, a blue water arrow shot out from behind Zhe Guang with a strong rotational force. This spiral water arrow ruthlessly shot into the wind wolf's mouth, sending it directly towards the afterlife. Taking this chance, Zhe Guang squeezed the wolf's belly, urging his hump wolf to retreat into the defensive range of his group. Saber GU. He put his palms together and squeezed out the final trace of primeval essence in his aperture, pouring it into the saber imprint on his palm. Whoosh! A completely new saber instantly formed. Zhe Guang suddenly swung his right hand and tightly grasped it. Die! He growled with an iron-like hoarse voice. The new saber was extremely sharp, cutting a cold light in the air and splitting a wind wolf into two. But this was only a small victory. It was truly difficult to have an active influence on the whole devastating situation. Damn it, I don't have enough primeval essence. There are at least over 3,000 wolves, it's too many. Young tribe leader, we are completely surrounded. There is no hope even if we fight to the death. It would be better to break through the east, the defensive line there is the weakest. The surrounding GU masters shouted one after another. Zhe Guang's fierce eyes shone and after thinking for a moment, resolutely refused. No, there are puddles in the eastern side. The defense there looks the weakest, but it is actually a trap prepared by the Wind Wolf King. If we go in, we will be sending ourselves into its trap. Then what should we do? The surrounding people asked. Zhe Yao gritted his teeth and firmed up his mind. Turn around, we will break through the west. But we have still not found Lady Zhe Yao. If we return like this, what will we say to Lord Tribe Leader? Zhe Guang snorted. Although Zhe Yao is my sister, for her own selfishness, she ignored our tribe's circumstance and fled the marriage. Sacrificing great men for a mere woman is not worth it. Spread the command, we will break through. Let those lowly slaves stay behind. It is time for them to offer their lives for their masters. Understood. The surrounding people immediately transmitted the order. Northern Plains tribes would go on war campaigns all year round. Some defeated GU masters would become slaves. Slaves had very low status and when necessary, they would be treated as cannon fodders and abandoned. Soon, GU masters divided into two groups. A pair of slaves was to stay behind on the mound and use their lives to block the enemy, while the other group was led by Zhe Guang to break through the west. Kill kill kill. Zhe Guang charged through the front lines riding on the hump wolf, wielding his saber roughly and bravely. Protect young master. The GU masters behind him were also tall and stoutly built men. They closely moved around Zhe Guang on their hump wolves. Whoosh! Suddenly, a large three-leaf wind blade flew towards them. Master! A loyal GU master warned loudly and was the first to react. He did not have a trace of primeval essence left. He directly charged towards the front on his hump wolf and used his own body to obstruct the wind blade. Nothing surprising happened. He was cut into two by the wind blade, immediately losing his life. The wind blade was weakened to two-leaf but still moved towards Zhe Guang. Zhe Guang reacted, immediately lifting his saber to block it. Bang! The wind and the saber collided. The saber shattered into pieces. Zhe Guang spurted out a large mouthful of blood and fell from the hump wolf's back. Young tribe leader. The GU masters behind him immediately came over to protect him, but with this, their breakthrough failed. Endless wind wolves came over from both sides and firmly surrounded them again. The wind wolves quietly parted open a path. A young and vigorous wind wolf king slowly walked through the path and appeared before everyone. Thousand Beast King. Its body was enormous like a warhorse. Brisk dark green fur covered its whole body and its eyes were like emeralds. Its alternating steps and unhurried pace unexpectedly gave an elegant and noble feeling to Zhe Guang and the group. Right now, the slave GU masters that had stayed behind on the hill were already killed. Large amounts of wind wolves came over after killing them. The GU masters had already exhausted their primeval essence. The Wind Wolf King's appearance caused them to feel restless. Someone pulled Zhe Guang to retreat, but Zhe Guang swung his arm and stood up with difficulty. He shouted, "What are you afraid of? I don't have primeval essence, but I still have my hands, legs and teeth. Warriors, don't let these beasts scorn you. We will use our blood to prove ourselves. We are the brave tribesmen of Zhe tribe." Everyone was agitated by his words. Their morale immediately rose and a will to fight to death emerged in them. The Wind Wolf King was walking leisurely, when suddenly it turned its head to look at the eastern direction of the battlefield. A large group of dark purplish poison-beard wolves were rapidly closing in. Chapter 438 Benefactor Chong Shan Yin. Chapter 438 Benefactor Chong Shan Yin. The poison-beard wolves did not make any stops, they charged towards the wind wolves. It's the poison-beard wolves. Very soon, GU masters discovered the poison-beard wolf pack and looked up. Strange, don't the poison-beard wolves only move around in poison grassland, why are they outside? Some GU masters felt perplexed. There's probably a GU master controlling them. Zhe Guang clenched his fists, seeing the approaching poison-beard wolves, his eyes which showed despair started to shine with the light of hope. Young master is wise, look there, there's a person. A few breaths later, a GU master pointed to a faraway place. As everyone observed closely, Fang Yuan appeared before them while riding the hump wolf. We're saved, everyone cheered. Not necessarily, Zhe Guang's eyes squinted, he was very rational. Less than 1,000 poison-beard wolves, we might not be safe, it'll depend on his wolf enslavement skill. With this reminder, the GU masters started worrying. This person should be an enslavement path GU master, but he does not have many poison-beard wolves. Not good, poison-beard wolves are weaker under sunlight, they are slightly inferior to the wind wolves. Oh no, this enslavement path GU master does not even have 1,000 beast king, he only has a few hundred beast kings, how can he block the assault of the wind wolf king? Zhe Guang suddenly said. No matter, as long as this GU master can gather the poison-beard wolves and charge all at once, he can break the encirclement and would be able to save us. This greatly reduced the people's worry, but just as they felt hopeful, Fang Yuan willed, and the entire poison-beard wolf pack spread out like pouring a basin of water. This. Many GU masters were tongue-tied. It's over, he's courting death. Some closed their eyes. Idiot, wasting such a chance. Some GU masters were stomping their foot in anger. They were extremely disappointed, they cursed and swore, some even started to hate Fang Yuan. Zhe Guang's expression paled, as long as there was a chance to live, who would want to die? Fang Yuan's appearance gave them hope, but he also destroyed their hopes single-handedly. Wind Wolf King howled, causing the entire Wind Wolf pack to attack. Just as the two packs were about to engage in battle, Fang Yuan let out a loud howl. He was human, but he emitted the cry of a wolf. This call was desolate, it was wild, it was like a fire that was being blown by the wind in the night sky. The wolf howl could be heard from 800 steps away, the poison-beard wolves in this range turned frenzy upon hearing it, summoning twice their original battle strength. Ah, this is the rank 4 wolf howl GU, it can increase the battle strength of wolf packs temporarily, it is a precious GU. This person is a rank 4 GU master. Fang Yuan's howl was shocking, it changed the expressions of the GU masters. Many pairs of despairing eyes gave off hope once again. Rank 3 and rank 4 were two different concepts. Rank 3 was elder, rank 4 was leader. Even Zhe Guang was only rank 3 upper stage. After recognizing Fang Yuan's cultivation level, nobody scolded him anymore. Although Northern Plains GU masters were brave, they were not arrogant, they were filled with respect for experts and were humble towards strength. The poison-beard wolves were originally weaker than the wind wolves, but now their battle strength surged, and they quickly overwhelmed the wind wolves. After just a short battle, the wind wolves retreated, and a large number of wind wolf corpses were left on the battlefield. Over a dozen wind wolves were sacrificed for the life of one poison-beard wolf. What level of wolf enslavement skill is this? Such a grand feat caused the GU masters to stare till their eyes fell out. Unimaginable, this is the attainment of an enslavement master, who in the world is this person? Many people looked at Fang Yuan like he was a monster. I have never heard of such a hidden expert living in this area. The gang was excited and shocked. Fang Yuan's strength caused the Wind Wolf Pack's attention to be placed on the poison-beard wolves. They only surrounded the Zhe tribe GU masters without attacking. This allowed these people to have a moment of rest under such circumstances. The Wind Wolf King is here, Zhe Guang said, as everyone became nervous again. Wind Wolf King had higher intelligence, it held and gathered the elites of its pack. Very soon, with Wind Wolf King as the arrowhead, these elites moved like an arrow, charging into the formation, straight into the center, and attacked Fang Yuan. Enslavement Path GU masters were most afraid of, beheading the leader, tactic. This Wind Wolf King was 1,000 Beast King, as it led the group of elites in attacking, they were simply unstoppable. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan only had a few hundred Beast King level Poison Beard Wolf Kings. But Fang Yuan was overjoyed instead of afraid, as he smiled lightly, it could not resist it. Wind Wolf King's intelligence was higher than other wolves, but it was still a wild beast, it could not compare with humans. Against other wolf packs, Fang Yuan needed to charge himself, but when battling the Wind Wolf King, Fang Yuan could create this formation to attract the Wind Wolf King to charge towards him. Swoosh! Wind Wolf King, who was sprinting, opened its mouth and shot out 3 large wind blades. The wind blades flew ahead and sliced through the wolf pack, creating a path as it targeted Fang Yuan. Careful! A GU master on the mound could not help but scream, as the others were extremely nervous. Fang Yuan did not move, he waited for the wind blades to get near him before manipulating the hump wolf to evade, easily and narrowly avoid them, as the green-blue wind blades passed right beside him. Expert! Fang Yuan's calm and composed demeanor made the GU masters think of this word. Fang Yuan willed and several poison-beard wolf kings were already prepared, charging forward and forming a formation, blocking the Wind Wolf King. Wind Wolf King's speed was fast, and had strong attacks with sturdy defenses, it was stronger than any of the poison-beard wolf kings. And yet, it could not break through this barrier. Fang Yuan's precise control allowed him to overcome a stronger foe, restraining the Wind Wolf King as it could only howl angrily and helplessly. Formidable! The great Wind Wolf King is being toyed by this man. This person's enslavement skill is on par with Zhang Baoya, Yang Po Ying, and Ma Zun. Northern Plains has a new first-rate enslavement expert now. If his wolf pack is stronger by a few times, he could take on a small mid-tribe single-handedly. Who is this person? He looks rather old. Zhe Guang was in a daze looking at Fang Yuan deal with the Wind Wolf King, feeling great admiration in his heart. Everyone shook their heads, guessing among themselves. This gave Fang Yuan an aura of mystery. It is about time, Fang Yuan muttered. He had the entire battle in his grasp. Seeing that the Wind Wolf King was about to escape, he knew that its battle intent was gone. Rank 3 Wolf Enslavement GU, go! Fang Yuan willed, and his soul Rank 3 Wolf Enslavement GU flew out and turned into a light smoke, engulfing the Wind Wolf King. Wind Wolf King howled as it struggled, holding on as it did not submit to Fang Yuan's authority. HMPH. Fang Yuan's eyes shone brightly, he had a 100-man soul, he was not afraid of such competition between souls. As expected, after a while, the Wind Wolf King could not resist anymore and submitted to Fang Yuan. This person's soul is extremely strong, he most likely has a 100-man soul. Someone exclaimed. With such skill in enslavement, it is not strange that he has a 100-man soul. Someone rebuked. Like Zhang Baoya, Yang Po Ying, and Ma Zun, they all have 1,000-man souls. After successfully planting the wolf enslavement GU, Fang Yuan obtained his first 1,000 Wolf King. Wind Wolf King howled, and the wolf pack stood its movement, the noisy battlefield turned silent. The remaining 1,000 Wind Wolves obeyed the Wind Wolf King and joined Fang Yuan. This way, Fang Yuan's wolf pack size doubled, reaching 2,400 wolves. I was lucky this time, if not for these GU masters restraining the wolves, I would have had to pay a bigger price to subdue this Wind Wolf King. Fang Yuan rode on the hump wolf as he gradually moved towards the mound. Zhe Guang and Gang were holding their breaths, this person would decide their life and death. As Fang Yuan got closer, Zhe Guang stood out from the crowd and placed his right hand at his chest, bowing deeply at Fang Yuan, shouting, "Esteemed expert, your strength brings me great admiration and reverence. Now, our lives are in your hands. To live or to die, we will listen to your command, we will not have any complaints." He, young warrior, I saw your battle earlier. You are as brave as a stallion, it reminds me of myself in the past. Fang Yuan sat on the wolf's back, laughing as he looked at the people warmly. You are the first batch of humans I've seen since I left Poison Grassland. I am very happy to return to this land, rest assured I, Chong Shanyin, am not a cruel and wicked person. Hearing Fang Yuan's words, the GU masters laughed as they relaxed. They had little primeval essence left now, if Fang Yuan wanted to kill them, they had no way of retaliating. Sometimes, men were more dangerous than wolves. If they met a demonic GU master, their outcomes would be even more tragic. Right now, everyone felt glad, they thought that they had met a righteous expert. Benefactor Chong Shanyin, I am Zhe tribe's young tribe leader, you saved my life, allow me to repay this debt. Let me invite you to our tent as a guest, I will do my best to make your stay an enjoyable one. Zhe Guang invited earnestly. Of course, gratitude was a part of the reason, but he was also looking at Fang Yuan's strength. The chance of become familiar with an expert was not just good for him, it benefited the entire tribe as well. Zhe tribe, Fang Yuan thought for a while, Alright, I have already expended my primeval stones, and I also need to replenish my GU worms. I do need to rest and reorganize. He subtly expressed his needs and requests. It was a hint to Zhe Guang. Without disappointing him, this young clan leader's eyes shone as he memorized these words to heart, laughing heartily. Benefactor Chong Shanyin, thank you for accepting, then let me lead the way. Chapter 439 Zhe Tribe Camp. Chapter 439, Zhe Tribe Camp. Fang Yuan followed Zhe Guang and the others towards the west direction. They had the hump wolf, the speed was not slow. Along the way, the group's atmosphere was uplifting. On one hand, Fang Yuan was intentionally getting close to them, he had his motives. On the other hand, Zhe Guang was doing his best to form a relationship with this expert, he had great respect for him in his heart. Northern Plains natives were brave and fierce, but they were also forthright and candid. If you did not have strength, they would look down on you, they were hard to talk to. But if you had a strong and tough fist, they would respect you. And when your personality matched theirs, their enthusiasm would make you understand what was to regret meeting too late. In just 2 days, Fang Yuan became very close to Zhe Guang. Fang Yuan intended to use this stepping board called Zhe Tribe to fuse into Northern Plains. After all, Chong Shanyin had vanished for 20 years, now that he returned, it was hard for people to accept that fact. At the same time, he had few primeval stones left, and he lacked a defensive GU, he needed transactions to get them. On Chong Shanyin's corpse, Fang Yuan did not find any defensive GU, most likely it was destroyed during the battle with Ha-Tu GU. And Zhe Guang was also very respectful, and curious about Fang Yuan. Gratitude because Fang Yuan saved his life. Respect because Fang Yuan's wolf enslavement skill was first-rate. With just a bit of guidance, Zhe Guang's bottleneck was easily broken, it was truly the demeanor of a first-rate senior, the disposition for an expert. Curiosity was because Fang Yuan spoke of the past, he often used a reminiscent tone and an old and wise gaze, he was obviously an expert with a deep story. Zhe Guang had the desire to find out more, but he did not dare to ask excessively. 5 days later, the gang returned to Zhe Tribe's camp base. The campsite was huge, there was a thick sturdy wall at the outer border of the camp, it was around 6 meters tall, green in color as vines grew and intertwined on it. Large numbers of leaves covered bunches and bunches of grape-like fruits. These were obviously not fruits, but the woodpath mined confusion GU. When wild beasts attack, these grape-like fruits would explode and their juices would splatter on the beasts, causing them to go into confusion, and their bodies would shake as they lose their balance, unable to continue fighting. After the Great Wall, there were tall watchtowers. 3 GU masters were stationed on top of each tower, 1 defensive and 2 investigative GU masters taking turns to keep watch. When the camp gates were opened, many GU masters came out to welcome them back. Young tribe leader is back, young tribe leader is back. Young tribe leader has only left for a few days, they're back already. I heard they met with a wind wolf pack, and almost lost their lives, thankfully an enslavement path expert helped them out. That middle-aged man, these wolves are all following him, he is amazing. But I wonder he is expert from which tribe in Northern Plains. Before Fang Yuan and others reached the camp, they had already met with the investigative GU masters patrolling the camp. Thus, the camp had already received their news before the gang even reached. As the information spread, many people pointed fingers at Fang Yuan, extremely curious. Some children were jumping and shouting, following behind the gang excitedly. Fang Yuan was seated on the back of Hump Wolf, looking at Zhe Guang wave his hand towards the tribesmen. Every time he waved his hand, there would be a loud cheer from the crowd. It showed this young man's important position in the tribe. From their conversations along the way, Fang Yuan had already understood Zhe Guang completely. He was the brother of Zhe Yao, a typical Northern Plains native, forthright and had a strong sense of brotherhood, he placed glory above his life. He had both wisdom and strength, and had the traditional Northern Plains mindset of patriarchy deeply ingrained in him. He was extremely angry and disgusted at his sister for escaping the wedding. But his negative emotions did not mean that their sibling relationship was cold. In fact, if he knew that Fang Yuan was the murderer of his sister, even without any primeval essence, he would use his teeth and limbs to try and exact revenge on Fang Yuan. In Fang Yuan's previous life, he had lived in Northern Plains, thus he had a deep understanding of their nature. Along the main path, the gang moved towards the center of the camp. All around them were tents, resembling the Mongolian tents on Earth. These were the accommodation of mortals. Many people heard the commotion and lifted their window flaps, as their expressions changed when they saw the wolf pack behind Fang Yuan. Upon seeing the young tribe leader, they used their right hand to cover their chest as they paid respects to Zhe Guang, shouting loudly to greet him. In southern border, mortals had to kneel down when they met Ji Yu masters. But in northern plains, the male warriors only kneeled to heaven, their ancestors, and family elders. Normally, they did not kneel even to the tribe leader or tribe elders. These mortals wore fur robes. Some females with better family background would have some accessories, while the males would have golden or purple threads on their shirts. Those who were poor would wear tattered clothes, with holes covered by additional cloth. But this was much better than slaves. Along the way, the people Fang Yuan saw who were kneeling were all slaves. These slaves wore barely any clothing, they were skinny and pale. In northern plains, these slaves had very lowly status, and lived a pitiful life. In the hearts of northern plains natives, keeping slaves was the same as rearing cows or sheep. Slave trade was the most flourishing business in northern plains. In northern plains, mortals lived in tents. The tents were scattered at the outer ring of the camp, while the inner area was the residential area for Ji Yu masters. If beast groups attacked the camp, the mortals were the first to die. After Fang Yuan and the others passed the tent area, they reached the Ji Yu master domain. The Ji Yu masters on the grassland did not live in tents, but lived in Ji Yu houses. Ji Yu houses were houses made of Ji Yu. Simple Ji Yu houses were made using one Ji Yu. Complex Ji Yu houses were made from a combination of many Ji Yu. In southern border, the large-size caravans that traveled across mountains and forests had such Ji Yu houses. Back then on Qingmao Mountain, Jia clan brought a Ji Yu house that was made using a wood path Ji Yu worm, 3-star cave. It was 18 meters tall, a truly tall tree. The roots were thick and strong, intertwining like coiling snakes. A small portion were exposed on the ground, while the rest were deeply buried underground. The tree trunk had 3 layers, and on the surface, there were windows. The defensive power was on another level compared to the ordinary tents. When used, the support Ji Yu master would plant the seeds, and inject their primeval essence for it to grow. When they wanted to keep it, the tree would turn back into a seed. But in northern plains, ordinary Ji Yu houses were not large trees like 3-star cave. Such a tall tree would be an easy target for lightning when it rained heavily. Thus, the first Ji Yu house that Fang Yuan saw was the most common house lizard Ji Yu. This was a rank 2 Ji Yu, its outer appearance was like a lizard with many colors. The most commonly seen colors were dark green, sky blue, and milky white. They were huge in size, like the buses on Earth. The lizard had 2 eyes that acted as windows. The 2 sides of their body also had windows. The lizard sprawled on the ground, opening its mouth to reveal a door. After opening the door and entering, one would see a long passage. On the left and right, there were 2 rows of rooms. At the end of the passage, it was the toilet, the temporary area to store body waste. When the tribe relocates, the lizard would get up and move with its 4 strong limbs. When there was too much waste in the toilet, these lizards would defecate, lifting their tails to expose their anus, excreting all of the waste they had. A family living inside a Ji Yu house needed to have at least 1 Ji Yu master. Such living environments were a level higher than the tent area. At the door of the Ji Yu house, there were often big stomach horses standing there, as their ropes would be tied to the lizard's huge teeth. A small number of families even had hump wolves. Fang Yuan and gang moved past these lizard Ji Yu houses and saw the mushroom forest Ji Yu houses. These Ji Yu houses were formed by planting large numbers of mushroom Ji Yu. Each house was a large mushroom, with a gray-colored round top that can let rainwater flow away. They did not attract lightning from storms and were very stable when strong winds blew. The mushroom had a strong and circular stem. The interior was white walls with windows on it. A few mushroom Ji Yu formed together to create a unique living environment. With dozens of mushroom Ji Yu, the area turned into a small mushroom forest. Those who lived in the mushroom forest were tribe elders or affluent Ji Yu masters. Hearing the movement from Fang Yuan and gang, the windows of these mushroom houses opened, showing some women and children. Some lively children ran out to touch the wind wolves or poison-beard wolves' fur. They were more bold than mortal families' children. Benefactor Chong Shanyin, ahead is the king tent of our Zhe tribe. Zhe Guang said. The gang came to the center of the campsite, and there were over 100 mushroom Ji Yu here. An old man, with an amicable appearance, led a group of Ji Yu masters to welcome them. Fang Yuan guessed that he was the Zhe tribe leader, and to express his politeness, he got off the hump wolf. Old tribe leader came before Fang Yuan, placed his right hand at his heart as he bowed deeply. Esteemed expert, you saved my son, you saved the future of our Zhe tribe. Please come in, we have already prepared high-quality kumis 1, and the beef and lamb are also grilling right now. I will arrange for people to feed your wolf pack. All right, Fang Yuan nodded, following Zhe tribe leader into this largest mushroom forest. In the mushroom forest, people sat in order of status in the largest mushroom GU. Fragrant kumis was placed in a leather water bag, presented before the people by young beautiful girls. Large numbers of delicacies were placed on the table. Soon, someone placed the grilled lamb and beef in the center of the room. Old Zhe tribe leader worked personally. He got to the center of the room and used a dagger to cut out the eyes of the cow and sheep, and also their back and chest meat, before placing them on a golden plate and bringing them to Fang Yuan with both hands. Benefactor, please. Old Zhe tribe leader lifted his wine cup and stood before Fang Yuan as he toasted. Northern Plains natives respected honorable men the most, and were extremely hospitable. In Northern Plains, if the host toasts a guest, and the guest drinks it all, then that is respect to the host. Similarly, if they did not drink it, that means they did not respect the host, or held disdain towards him. When Fang Yuan drank the entire bowl of kumis, the room cheered as the atmosphere became more lively. After Zhe tribe leader toasted, Zhe Guang followed, and Fang Yuan drank it all in one shot. Afterwards, the tribe elders started toasting him, and Fang Yuan drank them all. His grand attitude won the good feelings of everyone. After the toasting ended, the atmosphere in the room was absolutely heated. Benefactor Chong Shanyin, your name is very familiar, are you a member of Chong tribe? In Chong tribe, I have several friends, my second daughter is married to Chong tribe. We might even be relatives. Old Zhe tribe leader placed his cup down as his slightly red face had bright shining eyes. Zhe tribe leader, I know what you want to ask. I am a tribesman from Chong tribe Yuan Feng faction, a Shan generation descendant who is the sole child in my family. My father is Chong Shengdun, and my mother is Chong Kui. Fang Yuan sighed, replying in a solemn expression. Old Zhe tribe leader's eyes were wide as he stared at Fang Yuan in shock. You are really warrior Chong Shanyin. Chapter 440 10-year interval of wind and snow. Chapter 440, 10-year interval of wind and snow. Zhe tribe leader had some doubts when he heard Chong Shanyin's name in his subordinate's report. Now, when he received Fang Yuan's confirmation, he was very moved. All the elders present there also cried out in shock. Chong Shanyin, Zhe Guang was sitting at the side and said with some doubts. You are young, not knowing is normal. Zhe tribe leader heaved a sigh and instructed, son, toast to Chong Shanyin. He is not only your benefactor but more importantly, he is our Northern Plains hero. Old tribe leader, Fang Yuan gave a bitter smile and placed down his wine cup. I am only a broken vagabond, not a hero. Maybe it was the blessing of longevity heaven, I was able to luckily escape from the edge of death. But I have slept for 20 years and when I woke up, everything seems to have changed. I am an unfilial child and have no face to return to my tribe. Tears dripped down Fang Yuan's eyes as he said this. The elders sighed. Zhe tribe leader promptly consoled. Benefactor Chong Shanyin, what are you saying? If you are not our Northern Plains hero, who can it be? Ha Tugu's group of bandits were so savage and who knows how many tribes were looted by them, the weaker ones were even wiped out and even the livestock were not spared. By killing them, you have eliminated a huge threat in our Northern Plains. Your mother was injured by a villain, it was not because you were unfilial. On the contrary, your morals and righteous conduct were widely spread and known by all of us. Your return is the fortune for our Northern Plains righteous path. Lord tribe leader is correct. So sir was actually Chong Shanyin, it is really our honor for being able to see the hero. That's right, the return of hero Chong Shanyin is a great fortunately event for our righteous path. The elders praised repeatedly. Zhe Guang's eyes shone, he only knew now that Fang Yuan actually had such a great origin and so many tales. This intensified his respect towards Fang Yuan. Let the past remain as the past. Everyone, our meeting is fate, let's drink to it. Fang Yuan did not want to talk of these. He understood the past of Chong Shanyin, but it was best if he avoided the topic. He showed a depressed and gloomy expression. Everyone observed his expression and did not mention the topic again, only speaking of joyous events. After confirming Chong Shanyin's identity, Fang Yuan received much passionate treatment. The banquet lasted all the way from afternoon to late at night. The elders were lying down after drinking too much. If not for Fang Yuan pretending to be drunk, he would not have been able to leave. Next day, Zhe tribe leader invited Fang Yuan to banquet again. Benefactor Chong Shanyin, this is a small gift as thanks for saving my son's life. Please take it. Before the banquet started, the old tribe leader gave 1,000,000 primeval stones to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was somewhat surprised as he had not thought he would get such a big gift. Zhe tribe was only a small mid-scale tribe which was not in a good financial situation. It could be seen from the position of their camp and the clothings of the people. Currently, Fang Yuan was in poverty. These northern plains primeval stones could be used to resolve his current problems. He accepted the gift. Zhe tribe leader, I did not rescue Zhe Guang for money. However, to be honest, I am currently out of primeval stones. I won't be polite then. I will definitely repay Zhe tribe's kindness in the future. Hearing Fang Yuan's final sentence, Zhe tribe leader, Zhe Guang and the group of elders all smiled. Being able to make friends and connect to such a heroic expert like Chongshan Yin was the thing that a small mid-scale tribe like theirs would dream about. The banquet continued and the atmosphere was much more bustling than yesterday. Yesterday was only a first meeting, and today, both sides were familiar with each other. Fang Yuan raised his cup and proposed to all the elders. He remembered all their names clearly. This made all the elders feel overwhelmed, making them feel even more closer to Chongshan Yin. During the banquet, some people were inevitably curious of Fang Yuan's experiences. Fang Yuan had already prepared a good tale and told it to everyone. It was the same thing he told to deceive Zhe Guang, but compared to deceiving a young girl, he spoke more carefully this time. He recounted his events and said his cultivation had fallen from rank 4 peak stage to initial stage due to injuries. His words had no flaws, causing everyone to gasp, sigh and feel even more respect towards him. And Fang Yuan just kept on sighing, not caring the slightest bit about his past accomplishments. His gaze showed the vicissitudes of time and his tone was melancholic. Zhe tribesmen realized the legendary hero also had a painful side to him. Seeing such a sincere person, they grieved and sympathized with him, feeling even more closer to Fang Yuan. On the third day, Zhe tribe still continued the banquet with very high liveliness. This time, a strange elder appeared in the banquet. He was in charge of Zhe tribe's intelligence, and just as Fang Yuan had reached the camp, he had received an order to lead a group to search for Zhe Yao. Sigh, it is all my fault. I have a crafty girl, I have spoiled her too much, she actually fled her marriage. Zhe tribe leader sighed. Right, big brother Chongshan Yin, you returned from the poisonous grassland. Did you see my little sister on your way? Zhe Guang asked. Fang Yuan calmly replied with no hesitation, his expression extremely natural. I am sorry, I only had wolves as my companion on my way. You guys were the first humans I saw, so I felt even closer to you. Zhe Guang was also casually asking and did not have any expectations. Besides, the poisonous grassland was so huge, Fang Yuan not running into Zhe Yao was also normal. If they met each other, it would instead be a rare thing. This insensible little sister, I really don't know where she fled to without leaving behind any message. Sigh, it has become troublesome. Man tribe leader's third son Manduo is the person who wants to marry her. Now, sister has fled the marriage, and because he failed to obtain her, Manduo might take it out on Zhe tribe. Zhe Guang sighed with a frown on his face. The other elders also looked gloomy. Man tribe's pressure on them had been increasing these days. None of them knew that Chongshan Yin, whom they had been enthusiastically entertaining for 3 days, had already killed Zhe Yao. Trees die when moved, humans live when they move. Brothers of Zhe tribe, why are you reluctant to leave this place? There is only just over a year left until the Great Blizzard. You can migrate to the north, participate in the Heroes' Assembly and rely on Huang Jin tribe. With this, you can hide in Wangting Blessed Land when the Great Blizzard comes. Fang Yuan persuaded. The GU Master World was a world of cruel environment and was not easy to survive in. In southern border, humans made fortified villages which could defend against the beast tides, but northern plains had no mountains and the tribes would have to suffer the baptism of wind and snow. Every 10 years in northern plains, there would be a great blizzard that engulfs the entire northern plains. It would last for months, the sky would be gloomy and snow would drift everywhere. Cold winds would whip around like blades and white snow would cover up the world. The whole vast plains would freeze into a world of ice and snow. Every time the blizzard occurs, it would bring about a large number of deaths. Wolves, foxes, eagles, vegetations and humans, none could escape. Especially during the blizzard, large numbers of strong wild GU worms would appear. Often, after the blizzard, the large-scale tribes of northern plains would shrink down to mid-scale and mid-scale would shrink down to small scale due to the large numbers of casualties. Zhe tribe leader heaved a long sigh. Brother Shan Yin, I am old and no longer have ambitions I had when I was young. If we seek refuge with Huang Jin clan, our Zhe tribe will be dragged into the whirlpool of conflicts. It is good if we succeed, but the consequences for failure is too severe. Our Zhe clan had been making progress with great difficulty, we won't be able to endure the loss. The struggle in the imperial court is not something small clans like ours can participate in. Actually, this environment is not bad, soil is fertile and there are abundant resources. There is even Hongyan Valley nearby where underground fire burns. During the blizzard, our tribe can move inside the valley and survive this disaster. However, Hongyan Valley was firmly controlled by the overlord of this place, Man tribe. Zhe tribe would need to come in terms with Man tribe to enter Hongyan Valley. Man Duo's marriage proposal to Zhe Yao was an extremely good opportunity. For the whole tribe's benefits, sacrificing a girl's happiness for marriage was a very good deal to Zhe tribe leader and Zhe Guang. Sacrificing an individual benefits for the whole, this was the most common scene in an organization. However, Zhe Yao fled the marriage with her whereabouts unknown. Man tribe has been pressuring them to hand over Zhe Yao, but Zhe tribe was not able to do that. Fang Yuan immediately realized the intention of Zhe tribe leader from his words, they wanted to seek refuge with Man tribe. He understood this very well but felt some pity inwardly. Heroes' Assembly was his next target destination. If he could make Zhe tribe migrate, he would be able to journey smoothly without having to face the many dangers along the way. After mentioning the blizzard and Man tribe, everyone's mood turned grim. Brother Shan Yin, are you really not going to return to Chong tribe? Zhe tribe leader asked. Of course I can't return. If I return, wouldn't it be easy for my impersonation to be exposed? Fang Yuan thought in his mind while speaking, sigh, in my current circumstance, I am unable to face my elders and tribesmen. Zhe tribe leader nodded his head, expressing his understanding and feeling some sympathy. Chong Shanyin slept for 20 years and after waking up, everything had changed. His mother had died, his wife had been remarried to his brother. Chong tribe had become his sore spot, it was a normal thing for him to not able to face these for a while. In the previous banquet, Fang Yuan had mentioned he wanted to go to the Heroes' Assembly and also recover his cultivation quickly. Brother, if you really want to participate in the Heroes' Assembly, just relying on your current wolf group, it would not be enough for your journey. It will be better for you to rest for a few days. The old clan leader proposed. Fang Yuan nodded and did not object, I have the same idea. But this way, I will have to continue imposing on your tribe. Of course not, it is our honor that you are a guest here. The old tribe leader laughed heartily, expressing his willingness. Zhe Guang also smiled. A few days later, the surrounding few tribes will hold a market together. Uncle Chong can come take a look. Like this, Fang Yuan stayed over at Zhe tribe. Several days later, Zhe tribe decamped and moved towards the southwest, converging with several other tribes. An enormous tribal market rapidly emerged. Fang Yuan rejected Zhe Guang's invitation and entered this hustling and bustling market alone.